What is up, y'all? It's your boy Aniki coming at you with another My Hero Academia live reaction search of MHA Season 3, Episode 4, My Hero Academia Chapter 343. How are y'all doing today? Glad to be here. I'd make sure we started at a decent time, but you know, it's me. If we're not late, it won't be great. So how y'all doing? Let's see. Hey, Tyler. Yes, Tyler. See, this is why I started acknowledging right away. Hey, MK the baby. J. Michael, Tarnish. All right. Yep. Technically still before noon here. Yeah. See. I used to time these for exactly when the chapter released, but life. How y'all week been? Tell me what y'all been up to. Promotions, scandals, getting new gifts from your parents. What y'all been up to? Let's see. Okay, let's jump, find the fire on all cylinders. Yep. Hey, Avitarino and Giorno Giovanna. White, Despair, Black Hope, Taquito, all the regulars. Alves is here. Yep. All right. And Lamar Arrington, I see you back. Yep. I mean, you got a little 6 p.m. That puts you in, let's see. Are you around Czechoslovakia? Or are you, no. I would say Poland. Are you in Poland, Avitrino? And okay, you in the bean shopping. All right. Genetic thesis. Ooh, I like the sound of that. All right, you know what, y'all came in. We almost at 10 likes. Look at y'all. I'm dropping my likes too. All right, should I start the chapter early? I should start the chapter early, shouldn't I? Marvel references were amazing. All right, since the chat getting itchy on the trigger finger, I'm just gonna pull up the chapter now. See, this is how y'all get me to read ahead of time. Just to start talking about what's in the chapter. Normally I try to let more people. UK, France, Amsterdam. Okay. Now later I'm going to look at a map to see how close Amsterdam is to Poland, just to see if I'm an idiot or not. But let's see. Yeah, all right. We had 25. Let's go. My Hero Academia 343. Let's begin reading. Let's see. All right, so we're starting off with All for One's perspective. Perspective for one. Lies do not work on me. When a person possesses even the slightest malicious intent toward me, I know. Yes, because when you go out of your way to be one of the most hating ass niggas, it is very obvious. It is very obvious when people don't like you. And when you're somebody like AFO, when most people are pretending they like you, yeah, because anyway, All for One, I think this is how we know All for One is a true blue narcissist, because you can tell this man unironically thinks that all these people are truly his friends and not victims of extortion. But anyway, what was the name of that quirk again? It came to me in that early period. During the advent of the exceptional, I combined it with other quirks to boost its efficacy, so that the specifics are all a bit fuzzy. I think its original owner was a dull disappointment of a man, though his descendant did much better with it. So, already, Tarnish said I need to pay attention. Those of you who watch my chapter reviews will know that in the last chapter review I did, I specifically mentioned how Makoto Sukauchi had the polygraph quirk and could be taken in by All for One as a means of extortion for control over Sukauchi, so that he has somebody in the police force controlling, giving him access to the information, all that other stuff. And now here we are talking about how somebody with a quirk that can detect lies has descendants that rose up to oppose All for One, aka the Sukauchis. Let's go. Let's go. Through some twist of fate, they wound up working with All Might to threaten me, but this time with that very quirk will bring about my victory. That's right. Nothing new on our end. There is no greater joy than when seeds, when sown seeds at last bear fruit. Ooh, I'm hankering for a fine drink. Perhaps a 40-year Macallan. Oh my God. So fun fact, a couple weeks ago, I had some Macallan 12. So I'm going to tell you right now that this bottle, if you get this for the 12-year, this cost about $70. Macallan 40 cost about, I can't remember if that's the one that costs about like 500 or 1,000, but Macallan even sells $5,000 bottles. So All for One is very rich. That is the point of that particular statement. That was one for the adults. They were like, if you know your liquor, you know that All for One is drinking. So that's right. Nothing new on our end. Blah, blah, blah. Sounds perfect. How about one age 16 years? Our son could deliver it to you. Sounds perfect. Could I please have your son's contact info? Just to leave nothing to chance. Of course, uncle. That's even crazier. A necessity in these modern times. How true. No lies, no ill will. She's clean. I can let them go about their business. And even if they're interrogated later, they'll pose no threat to me. We've engaged in this ridiculous coded conversation to foil anyone who may be listening in, but that ends after today. Tomorrow, then. Yes, indeed. Now we see these two pinpricks of light, which seem to be the search quirk. And then you see another small cluster of light just a little bit over, which means that the shot we're seeing is All for One, I believe, seeing the Aoyama family. This is only page 3. This chapter got me talking. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sure some of y'all would rather me, be already halfway through the chapter, but I just want to hit all these points real quick. So these two lights on page 3, more than likely Police Center, UA, or more specifically, Police Troy, because the pinpricks are going to be based off of people that Ragdoll already has seen. We know that Ragdoll's story, it came with that. It can only save up to 100 people at a time. All for One has not seen that many people. Obviously, the search for data file also got uploaded in Shigaraki. So this could be Shigaraki's perspective. Either way, it works. Somebody with the search quirk that has stockpiled data on UA can see the two lights, plus over there, likely indicating the quirk factors of the Aoyama family and UA. Anyway, Let You Down is the name of this one. All right, let's see. So we starting. And then we see, okay, Deku's, we kind of getting to see Deku's new fit with the new chest guard. And all right. With the broken, thank you for coming. Why are you out here, Aoyama? Weren't you being detained? My parents' lawyer got me released. I gotta tell everyone, we can rejoin the search effort and wait. I'd like to speak to you. It's almost funny that courts and the legal system still exist, despite Japan being in ruins. Oh boy. With society as it is now, would the old ways of living really get you anywhere? What do you mean, Aoyama? Let me tell you All for One's real goal. All right, here we go. With the state Japan's in, do you know what became of the rest of the world? The sudden crash in the value of the yen forced Japanese corporations into bankruptcy. That plus the coordinated uprising of villains caused damage to spread worldwide. Now the world faces a crisis much like the Great Depression or the period around the advent of quirks. Record unemployment, loss of faith in currencies, an era of total chaos. What are you talking about, Aoyama? Lacking the strength to implement long-term policies, Japan's society devolves into one scrambling for short-term safety, while the nations who've abandoned Japan prioritize their own stability. Now, this is something we talked about. In such a world, imagine a country lacking potable water. Imagine if a quirk producing that water were to suddenly appear, or electricity, or gas, or strength. As the world is plunged into the state of chaotic decline, we suddenly have an arena ripe for a certain remarkable individual to take the initiative. He would become the world's arbiter, its very own demon lord. Once again, Horikoshi making it a point to continue the emphasis on the stigmata so that you can see the hole in his hand, the stigmata, as he's holding the world, showing his corrupted views of savior or being a savior. Let's see. Capitalism, economics pod. Okay, let me. Whoa, Uncle Aoyama, Uncle for one confirmed. Cameron Bailey, now they're talking in code. Don't be sorry. That's a chapter you got to take your time with. Hit all the points, my dude. All right, cool. Me too, Tarnish. But it's funny. Wait, what it do? Hey, JJ. Let's see. About my genetic thesis, I'm doing simple simulation showing how quickly a mutation spreads through a population. I could say with 100% certain MHA workers are not caused by mutation alone because genetic mutations do not spread through a population that fast. Okay. By the way, I'm sorry if I was reading the chat too fast, you guys. You know, if it could still in creation, if you really want to destroy the economy, those who say Star and Sharps was meaningless, it's a real reason Japan won't have any outside help. Yep. So, I'm always congested. I live in a permanent state of mild congestion. It's just a matter of how severe it is that day. The anime really can't afford to cut out anything else the way they have been doing. So hopefully that gets that whole thing going right. And the genetics thesis, I hope I can read it, even if it's going to be a little over my head since I'm not a graduate geneticist. But still. He only had to rock that balance somewhere. It didn't matter how. I don't think so. The world would never go along with that. Besides, the world still has us. Besides, true, which is why it all has to end here. I'm sorry. Alas, I had to protect Mama and Papa. First off, this mask is some next level stuff, but I'm like, is this a dream sequence? I'm gonna be so disappointed if this is a dream sequence. I kind of have faith in them, but I'm scared, to be honest. That is a reasonable way to feel. They are fully capable of adapting the season well, but I personally think there's some censorship going on from the higher ups of MHA, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. That's how I feel about that. So we'll see. I don't think it should be too detrimental to this aspect, but the whole removing the stigmata might likely have been a part of that, though that could have just been for Western sensibilities. All for one. Also, this new mask, pretty raw. Splendidly done, Yuga Aoyama. How terrifying it must have been to turn on your friend like this. How heartrending to betray someone who put his faith in you. But you overcame the fear and pain, and that speech about my ultimate goal, wonderful. Wrong in some of the details, but that's fine. Did your parents explain it all to you? Yes. They said you promised us a blessed existence in your new world. I believed in you, damn it. My pain cannot be measured by that singular word, uncle. Ooh, he tried. Aoyama tried it. That was ungrateful little. That was such a believable performance, Aoyama. I had no choice. Otherwise, we could not have lured him here. And I must say, your acting was tour de force as well. I couldn't help it once your tears started flowing. The tears are real. I truly am scared. That's real. You got a belly button laser against the most evil nigga out. Bro, this has to be, it has to be a dream. AFL can steal creation, right? Technically, yes. We should get all of that next season. Actually, no. We should be able to go from, no, we might be able to. It'll be tight, but if we do get all of Deku Far From Home next season, we have to finish on 327 and not go any further. Star and Stripe has to be how we start the next season. All right. In fact, I think I may have wet myself. You did great, Ayama. This is for Mama and Papa, for all of my friends, and for myself. I shall fight all for one. Disappointing. How is this possible? I can lure Midoriya out at any point. I detected no lies, no ill will, neither when speaking to his parents nor to him just prior to this. So how? Well, it matters not. One for all is here within reach. The search quirk tells us the user, the location, and weaknesses of those they see. And the heroes Tomura saw in the previous conflict are deployed and dispersed across the country. They will not make it in time to... Did they finally convert Kurogiri to a good guy? Did they finally help this man out? They didn't happen to notice that my people were drawing near. And now I'm afraid. Okay, so this means that either there's a restriction on whether or not the person is conscious, because we've talked about this before, because somebody mentioned Gigantomachia, and while we're summoning, like we see him pulling Nomu, Toga, the dude that looked like a penis and a tongue mixed together that All Might beat up on his way to work during the USJ incident that led to him not being there on time. We got a whole smorgasbord. Also, Dabi being dripped in white while Tomura has the black, emphasizing that rivalry again. More than likely also to give him better heat resistance. That's like asbestos clothing. And then get me emphasis on seeing his scar tissue, the whole thing. And now I'm afraid they're entirely too late. Mama, yup, and Papa told me something else. They told me that it is you, what it is you fear most, all for one. Kurogiri, on the other, how did they activate him? On the other hand, this may save us some time. You fear the world learning that Japan isn't finished yet. You fear the light and hope that will come with recovery. Is that Monoma? Or is that supposed to be like, I can't tell whose face that is. And you fear Japan inspiring the world to unite once more. So today is the day. And this is the place where you fall. This fight in this war is starting more aggressively than the last one. Like by leaps and bounds. This war is starting off way more aggressively than the last one. Oh. Like, just straight up everybody, come on, we doing it right here, right now. No holds barred, just, it's time. Wow. Wow, getting the bishops in here, y'all. Yep. All right. So base. But also, I just want to say that I've always advocated for Monoma supremacy. So Monoma being able to come in clutch here, finally. In addition to that, okay, I also want to talk about how, especially with this Monoma point, people were like, oh, Monoma is like mini AFO. Oh, Monoma is going to be the traitor. And like, maybe he can turn out to be a traitor. I don't know. But I remember being a little sad that we didn't get to follow Monoma's group during the war. This is one of those things that I wanted to see. So it's like, no, Horikoshi was like, I'm only letting Monoma hit the center stage once. And that's fair. There's a lot of different ways this can go. Let's see who in here. Archbishop East is here.
Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, 10, 7, 8, 9, 10. I hope you got your volume down. Because True Blue has started the war! My dick hard, nigga! We on brick! Let it fucking loose!
He meant that. What a beast.
Nigga.
Did you see the chat?
Oh my God. Woo. Oh. Well, let me take my shirt off. God damn. Nigga. I'm talking about whipped his dick out on the table and flung that shit all across all the countries in the world. I couldn't even tell you how many fucking man. Oh my God. Listen, y'all think y'all in trouble with me? I have a friend who ain't been here in a minute. All right? And y'all may know him as, bless you, may know him as none other than the one, the only, the world champ Watkins is back in the building, people. Yeah.
Hey, what up, Watkins?
Watkins, don't fail me, man.
I think East was walking around his room doing laps from excitement. I'm not gonna lie.
He probably was.
Hey, Bishop Tarnish in the building.
Man.
What's up?
The metaphorical building, that is. Oh. All right. So first off,
yeah, I knew you'd be hyped for that. The black sludge quirk coming back.
I've been waiting for that hoe to get active. Because I'm like, he's got the quirk. He hasn't used it yet. We know he can use it to send people far away from him, but he can't be specific with it. So I'm like, all right. This means that at any point, he can pull out. He can pull up. He can summon anybody he wants. Anybody that he's attached to, he can be like, yo, come here. Yo, come here. But because he established with Augusta the main rule, he's got to have like closeness or familiarity with the target. So, which also makes it interesting that Johnny could teleport people that he didn't know. But I'm assuming that came down to like just downloading the specs into him or something like that.
Normal hijinks, you know.
Yeah.
I blew my mic out. I had to go fix it.
Oh, okay.
Yo, I'm glad you noticed that Penis Head is here too. I thought I was crazy. I was like, I know this character, but from where? I'm like, wait, All Might folded him like one morning.
You know what I have been meaning to do? I've been meaning to go back and look at the trouble he caused Mount Lane and Kamui. I was like,
he was giving them hands. I ain't gonna lie. Like Mount Lady and Kamui Woods, they had trouble with him.
That's what I'm saying, bro. I'm like, it's easy when you look at, All Might fold somebody, but that don't really relevate to that caliber because nobody's on All Might level, nowhere near. So a nigga that may get folded by All Might with one hand can still body half the niggas out here, or go toe to toe with half the niggas out here.
No. Yeah, I want to talk about this now, but like,
the champ is here.
How we feel about Ayama dying?
I mean, I've accepted the truth a long time ago.
Ayama the weakest link.
So I feel like if Aoyama dies, there's a lot of people, especially a lot of people would be okay with it. Like a lot of people would be like, fuck that dude. Because that's already the energy we've seen, right? Like we've seen people be mad that the kids weren't more hateful. I was like, I'm angry. Why isn't he trying to beat the crap out of it? Why aren't they trying to beat him? They should be hanging him up from a tree and stoning him. And it's like, dog, they not trying to kill another one of their people. It just kind of does seem like that's a good way for Aoyama to go out. But at the same time, because Aoyama's death would be so tragic, I also think it would be good for him to live here, specifically from the perspective of like what was set up during like provisional license, with him really trying to be their equal and him putting himself on the line here.
Yeah.
But
all of that is fine. I'm just worried about his safety because the fight that's about to ensue, he's the weakest. He's the weakest one there. So it's like,
yeah.
You know, all for one gonna get his ones back on that nigga. You know that, right?
Exactly. He gonna be like, "Right, you don't want this." He called him ungrateful. He might take the quirk back.
Is my volume up now?
Yeah, we can hear you. I can hear you.
I can hear you too.
Maybe because I don't know how much they heard me yelling. If I blew my mic up.
Yeah.
Well, you know.
He's here. Finally
There we
settled
go.
in.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
I figured
cool,
you were
cool.
adjusting some stuff. So
Yeah. I missed East yelling, so I feel bad for that.
It's okay. I don't know how much they got for my mic.
Actually, it's funny because I messed with you a little bit on Thursday, and somebody tried to quote retweet me and try to like call me a hater and shit. I'm like, oh, this guy doesn't understand sarcasm. Great, awesome.
Yeah.
So shout out to you, dude, for that. Because I saw the leaks and shit. Oh boy.
Ooh.
Oh boy. This chapter was great. Also, has anybody mentioned yet the fact that the villains that did they win the previous war or lose? I don't know. I can't really tell because Japan apparently is in a lot of shit right now. But the villains, they lost, I thought. Didn't they lose? So somebody correct me on this. Did they lose, or because I thought they won?
Yeah, I thought the villains won.
Yeah,
Me personally,
I thought they had
that's
won.
just me though. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Me personally, if I come with something as a goal, which is take out Shigaraki so he don't wake up and harm people, sweep up all the villains in one go, and let nobody escape, not even a mouse, like S-Shot said, and then hundreds of those niggas escape. Shigaraki escapes and kills damn near thousands of people. Maki goes on rampage and kills thousands of people. Fucking damages, I don't know how many cities, and injures I don't know how many people. As Japan crumbles to a fucking great collapse, and now they have convicts running all over the fucking city, and people are in shelters now. So I don't, if I go on something with a goal in mind, and then that goal don't get achieved, that's one thing. But to come back off of that, I don't know. You call that a victory to me.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
Do you remember when I did the math of the population density between the two regions?
Yeah.
Where the first region, cool, like 2,000 some people per square kilometer. Not that crazy packed. But then the second one, it jumps to like 22,000 people per square kilometer, to the extent that Mafia alone impacted at least 1 million lives over the course of 30 minutes. Like, as heroes, any day that 1 million citizens, 1 million civilians can be like, damn, I'm homeless because of a villain attack, I think that counts as a day the heroes lost.
Thanks, heroes.
Like, I'm pretty sure it counts as the heroes lost.
The crazy thing about that situation is that we have less manpower now. We still have less heroes, and we running it back again for round 2. And the capture goal this time, that there is no capsule. We gotta just. I don't know what their goal is. Like,
Well, part of it is to separate Shigaraki and All for One. Like that whole, what was it, like 10-kilometer thing? Like distance them first,
which is not happening,
and then take them out. I think.
Well,
chat. Let me know if y'all can hear me because they said they couldn't hear me.
No, you good?
I mean, y'all can, but the chat was talking about not being able to hear me, and my shit's still low, so I don't know what's going on.
Now you're good now.
It's definitely not a tie. Okay, for it to count as a tie, you would have to come away with a neutral space at the end. The fact that the villains have the advantage means it can't be a tie. You would either come out with the same scenario or an equal space. The fact that the heroes are at a deficit and failed in their social goals means that they lost.
Listen. This is like
this is one of those you can't just like tiptoe around it. You can't try to change like what qualifies as winning and losing. If you set out to achieve things and protect stuff and you lose it all, you lost.
Listen. This let me explain like what a tie is, even within the series. In joint training, the Shojin match, which is what's the third or fourth match?
Third match.
In the third match, that was a tie. They just ran the timeout and nobody could get anybody else anywhere. So they tied. Other matches, there was a winner and a loser. Somebody got more people out than the other. They got everybody out. That's what happened. In the war, these niggas, the heroes, literally stated their goals, failed their goals on all fronts. The only one they got was bitch ass Hawks and twice, and that was Hawks' mission alone. That was the commission telling him. That wasn't all the heroes like we need to take out Jinbu one. No, that was only Hawks and Hawks only worried about that.
That's so
everything that the heroes set out to accomplish, they fucking failed on.
Makia was not supposed to leave at all. He was not supposed to leave. Like they made it a point to say like we can't let him leave, and he left.
He left, and he still ran. Just because they shut him down at the very end don't mean shit. Because he still caused. He's one of the biggest reasons everything went into shit because motherfucker went through 20 fucking cities, causing so much damn destruction and chaos, and they even have niggas that after that day they even have niggas that help them rebuild shit. Like with Dobby too, that collapse of society, like bro. And then when the heroes lost all their forces, the villains gained back in quality what they lost in quantity.
10,000
more quantity. And still got more quantity than the heroes.
Which has been said multiple times in the story.
A good chance that AFO dies early on this battle. We know that the heroes have two plans that we don't know. Also, real quick, good job on Horikoshi. Because one of the things that I don't think I brought this up in a while, but one of the things I've mentioned is how Horikoshi is really good at like what I call literary sleight of hand, where he does such a good job getting you to focus and move your mind away from certain topics that the surprises are always things you could have guessed if you had like 2 to 3 more context clues or things in mind, or just had kept a certain character in mind. Like in the case of Monoma with Kurogiri, we've seen them working on Kurogiri this whole time. We've had emphasis on Monoma like trying to take one for all. We had emphasis on Monoma copy and rewind. And then we kind of see him, and then he kind of like fades into the background a bit, but we see him become important. We see him, oh yeah, like, hey, look, he's hanging out with Eri. And it's like, oh, cool, he's bonded with Eri. And that's like the extent of your brain for Monoma. And he's like, yeah, just think of Monoma as like working with Eri, always against class 1A, blah, blah, blah. Yep. Boom. One of the linchpins to class 1A strategy is having Monoma copy Kurogiri. Have like Monoma copying a main character or like hero ally quirk on the third time was the charm. He copies Kurogiri's quirk and there's no issues with it. In addition to that, he can probably keep a warp gate open so that he is in consistent contact with Kurogiri so that he never loses Kurogiri's quirk. Insanity.
Hey, Coogan, yeah, we already discussed. We know for a fact it's Makoto and Tsukuichi, fucking ancestor.
Oh yeah, no, I already covered that. I covered that on the first page, baby.
Yeah, kind of late, John. But to speak to this, speaking again about knowing what to do and when to do it. Once again, peeping this chapter, it just shows why this nigga is writing this and should be writing it. A lot of y'all niggas don't need to touch this. Before I continue, y'all need to like the stream. It don't take nothing to like the stream. At this point, dislike it if you don't fuck with it. Cause like, I don't know how we got 63 of y'all here and only 32 likes. Like, I don't know what you doing.
Try my Ponzu impression now.
Oh God. He said he was coming, so y'all better get it together before he cracked the whip. He ain't playing. But back to the point at hand. Once again, I seen a hindsight of everything. This is what the series should just be called, hindsight. Because now people at first people thought it was Hakagura who was a traitor because of that red herring. Yeah, I got tricked. Just take the L. I did too. There's nothing wrong with that. You got tricked. Then it revealed to be Aoyama, which was even better because it got to add to his character, his depth, and everything made complete sense. Because they thought he was gone. And everything lined up, added to his character, amazing scenes, this, that, and the other. Now, this is why it had to be Aoyama and it had to come this late. Because there was no other way for them to get Deku alone just like this. Because imagine they had got Deku alone and Aoyama was really evil, this, that, and the other. All for one didn't plan on the heroes having Kurogiri's quirk, which means this nigga planned for himself, clones the league, and about 50 or like at least 20 other high-tier convicts to jump the dog shit out of Deku. When Shigaraki clone could have did that alone, or him could have gave it Deku, they could have duked it out alone. He threw fucking imagine each side thought those niggas was going to be alone, so they brought a gang of niggas to jump the other nigga. So in reality, if he really was that evil and they pulled up, they would have had no plan to back up Deku. He would just been dead. That would just been all it was to it.
Not only that, but All For One wanted Deku to be the way he was before, weak, wounded, dirty.
Yeah.
So he wanted Deku to pull up like that and get jumped.
The nigga that couldn't even walk, the nigga was stumbling over his own steps.
That's how he wanted him to pull up.
Which does mean Troy was almost like bait because like we started the chapter with being able to see them, knowing their location. Which leads me to wonder if the implication of this was the two dots were Deku and Aoyama coming together. And then he just like pulled up like, all right, sweet, they're there. And that's where Troy is. And then they just got warped. Mm-hmm. Which, dog.
Well, okay, now since White Despair Black Hope, my essay, my good essay guy, says he finally finished. You can finally read what he said. So we can address it.
Let's see. Look, having before the plans can begin. While I don't expect the heroes' plan to begin without issue, I do think we at least see the plans attempted, which would require that the villains are at least temporarily separated at this moment. It is literally impossible since AFO can just teleport all of them back to him at any point. So I feel that the Black Goo teleportation. Okay, so one thing that I will say is that Quirk needs to be taken off the playing field before early so that the heroes can at least start their plans. I will say that I think the Black, because unless All For One has been practicing with that quirk, if his skill level is still the same as it is currently, there's at least a chance that Monoma will be able to maintain the USJ strategy and keep dropping them and putting them somewhere else so that they can't force the issue. Because there's no point in teleporting them back if Monoma is constantly watching the battlefield and just keeps teleporting people back, that like villains back that come there. That's my look at it anyway. It's like more than like, and there's probably a more specific range restriction on AFO's teleportation quirk because we know that Kurogiri has to specifically lock in on coordinates, but with off one, since he just kind of like pops you where he needs you conveniently, it seems like the trade-off would be that his range or his ability to lock on is probably lower.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So
Post nut Walmart Luffy. Are you this? Are you? I'm pretty sure that you diabolical Luffy. The people was asked about you in the server.
wait, what?
Yeah, post nut Walmart Luffy. I'm pretty sure that's diabolical Luffy. I'll bet money that's diabolical Luffy from the server.
I think he said something about like getting kicked out by accident, and then I was kind of just like, damn, because of the way we have the server now.
Oh, okay. Now that I know all this now makes something make sense. Because that does explain something. All right, I got you. I'm about to send you the link on Twitter.
Yeah. Yeah, what my favorite things about this chapter, honestly, is the whole Aoyama, like, quote unquote lying situation, like where he pulled up on Deku and they was like talking. That is exactly how people expected the trader reveal to be. Like the whole way it was played out, presented. He was like, weren't you being detained? Blah, blah, blah. Like, I got to go tell everyone that we could go rejoin the search effort. Like, the whole way it was shut down and how Awful One pulled up behind Aoyama with that good ass single page spread. Like, that's exactly how this reveal was in everybody's head. But then we got what we got. And like, he gave us the old school anime trader reveal, but after we got the reveal already, which is kind of cool.
Double layers. Oh, by the way, fun fact, the Pussycats are there. They're right below Orca. You can see their head, or you can see one of their heads, but you know one of them all of them together, most likely. You know, they roll in a group, they're a hero group for a reason. But yeah, they are there. They're right below Gang Orca in the left-hand corner. Very tiny. You can just see somebody's headgear. I don't know whose, but you can see one of their headgears.
Mandalay being there gonna be clutch if they really break niggas up with Warp Gate.
It's just, it really is, but then at the same time, it's like when they find out some of these niggas is clones, I'm gonna bust my ass off.
Who's gonna be the first clone to go down?
I don't know, bro. I really don't know. I feel like I don't know because it's really crazy as fuck. By the way, y'all,
I could see it funny being Davi's like a
Davi
clone.
I was like, the Davi clone might be the first one to go.
Yeah.
not because he's weak at anything, just because of how his quirk works and the way Dabi acts when he's a clone. Like the clone Dabi in the forest camp, he was wilding.
Clone Dabi be like, damn, Clone Dabi don't care because Clone Dabi killing himself. Clone Dabi knows that real Dabi is killing himself anyway. So he's like, well, I'm temporary AF, so whatever.
And Endeavor's there too. So if this really is the clone and then they have a head up, then Endeavor is just going to be so hurt, like psychologically damaged, and it's just a clone.
He gonna the clone not gonna say shit. He gonna let that nigga reel it in and suffer. He gonna let
That's probably why he pulled up with that fit, because he's showing all his burns. That's what I think, at least. Like that fit is just a patient.
And because he blames Endeavor.
In a white tracksuit too. He's sick. He's sick, bro.
Yeah, you know he making Endeavor blame. You know how people be like, look at what you did. This is all you. That's why he probably got that shit up and out for it. Like, look what you did to me. I'm gonna rub it in, a salt in the wound type beat. You feel me?
And then this not even the real Shiggy at all.
Yeah. Shola, these are clones, bro. This is not the real them. This is not the real them. There's no fucking way.
Because listen, when Shigaraki comes on the battlefield, it's not in no double page spread with other people. He's by himself. Like,
yeah.
Let me paint this picture to you, Shola. Let me make sure, because this is not up for debate. These are clones. Let me explain this to you. Horikoshi has been setting up 100% for how long? Then we've been setting up this whole vestige, taking over all this other bullshit, and emerging past the singularity. Shigaraki's arm turned into his monster from Akira type beat. All this struggling, all this just to get to this damn 100%. And you think Shiraki just pops up on the battlefield with no words because All For One wills it? Y'all must think he the main villain or something. Like, nah, this is not how Shiggy moves. And not how Horikoshi would do Shiggy. After all that hype, you think they're just gonna pop up like this? Really?
Bro, this is not the real Shiggy.
You
I'm
really?
telling you, we're gonna get a minus part 2, and it's gonna be a flashback chapter to before the clone was made.
They're gonna run it back. That's why he already told us low key that this is why he already revealed half of it to us. Like, we know they're gonna use clones, but we didn't know where they would do it. We know they would do it, but like, ain't nobody predict Horikoshi's gonna throw all the biggest players on both sides out to the fucking battlefield right off rip at each other.
Yeah.
Nobody predicting like going like that now. Like, I knew niggas gonna match up.
If anybody want to say, oh, we should have seen them use the clone, I don't know. I didn't see them do it. We didn't see one of them copy Warp Gate.
No. We in the middle of a fucking war. We don't need to hear. This is the thing. I'm not finna hear. We don't need everything fucking explained because it's not like up front. There's that you just want you don't want to be surprised. There's a point of a fucking twist. You don't just lay all the cards on the table and it's like, oh wow, they did this. Oh wow, they did that. Oh wow. No, there's a point for twist and turn. This is what keeps it exciting. They're not gonna lay out every single plan. All right, we're gonna use our clones right here. Then they're gonna be like, oh wait, we're using our clones right here, and the readers know. No, it's supposed to be speculation, although we know, but at the same time, you don't just reveal everything up front. If you can think of the theory, but prior to it actually happening and Horikoshi pulled through, why do you need a full chapter of explanation? Niggas was already thinking what happens if Bonema gets Kurogiri to court ahead of time. Then you had implications of it when they were right there looking at Kurogiri and they talk about they play in the background. So you don't need, oh, why didn't we see them actually take, like, nigga, that was the point because we All For One got tricked. It was supposed to be, oh shit, Deku about to get jumped. Oh shit, the heroes just came back. You're not supposed to lay all the thing out. Like, come on now. Yeah, don't start. I don't need y'all to start getting weird. Like, well, we didn't see this, we didn't see that. Nigga, you don't need everything explained. That's the point of a twist. That's why he told us before they have twice his blood.
He showed, yeah, exactly. He showed us that she had the blood. I'm like, all right, she could use this at any point. People think her using the blood gonna be a big moment in the heat of battle. Like, let me use Jin's blood. Like, I don't know. Somebody was like, oh, Chaco is gonna stop her from using it. I was like, what? Like, why would she even tell that point to use it? What? Like, that deep in the battle? You gonna use this quirk?
Or why would I just use clones at first, drain everybody's energy to come in and swoop? The villains don't play fair. Why would I play fair in a war? The fuck? This is a life or death. You think I'm gonna play fair or fight you fair? No, nigga. Come on now.
Oh, listen, I don't even think this is the real All For One, to be 100% honest.
Oh, you know that one trigger. I think it may be the real him. Now everybody else.
Listen. The clones.
No way in hell.
The clones, we could argue about that all day. The All For One, I know I'm probably like alone on that. I don't even think this is the real him. Because he don't ever do shit like this. The way he just pulled up, like, why would he?
But that's the thing, though. He had the cavalry. Remember what he said? He was like, yeah, I can see where everybody else is at miles away. They would never make it. Originally, they would never make it there in time.
I still don't think he risked it, knowing him.
I think he would take the risk because the quirk is right there. But I think the gamble on the back, I think that he had his safety net, which was those niggas right there. Like he said, he could see where everybody was at. He had no way of knowing they would have Kurogiri's quirk. He was like, what the fuck? Kurogiri? He was like, okay, cool. But then like, Monoma, what the fuck?
Also, he said, regarding to that Kurogiri shit, he said this may save us some time. So he was planning on doing something that quirk would help with. Was people to say get a prison break.
Like I've been thinking too, is like, honestly, if he was moving like this, honestly, everything comes together why he didn't break a bunch of people out. Like Maki and Uchiko and all them. Because it would just been better just to buy time and sit because we kind of don't need those niggas. Because think about it. We really didn't need Maki and Uchiko. We don't need Uchiko. He's just a friend. We don't need him. We don't need Maki. We don't even know those niggas at, actually. So it was like, we probably know where Maki is at, but not Uchiko.
Aku City, he's still right in the same spot.
Yeah, so to think about it like this, it's like, well, in hindsight, he already had everything he needed. And he just gonna probably bust everybody back out later because there's no reason to go raid and attack the heroes for full force like right there when he was just waiting until Shigaraki got 100%, waiting for Spinner to rally all the mutants and the convicts and all this other shit, and have Deku run ragged and then like meet him up and then jump him. So in hindsight, he really didn't need to get anybody. When I look at back.
One of the things that I like to talk about too, though, is that a lot of, especially because I think hiding, like AFO being patient has caused some people to mischaracterize the aftermath of the war, because all it takes is for AFO, like he does here, to have one of his masks, and if he really wanted to, he could have just ran through Japan, just doing that big ass air cannon, leveling miles and miles at a time until Deku came out. And most of the heroes wouldn't have had an answer for that. Like, imagine if he does one of those heavy payload blasts like Shigaraki did against Star and Strife in the city.
I ain't ready for that.
AFO, so it's like AFO did that specifically because of the timing that he was going for, not for no other reasons. And that's what's the issue. Oh, so I'm trying to figure out how, like, how do I explain it? How AFO doing things at his own pace counts as the villains losing.
How what?
Like how AFO doing things at his own pace is considered like a flop. Granted, I do think it, like the whole AFO not knowing about Twice's Blood thing that I'm seeing in the chat, that I don't think he knows about. Or I don't think he cared enough about Twice. Because the main thing here is that as much as All For One uses phrases like friends, he doesn't treat his people like friends as much as Shigaraki does. So, and I can see it being the real Dobby. I can see it not being the real Dobby. All right. So my question though for y'all real quick. Do you think this is actually the final battle?
No.
You already know where I stand.
Nah, I mean, I doubt it.
This is the first chapter
Yeah.
of a most likely 50 plus chapter arc, maybe shorter.
I have a hard time.
If we compare it to the war, that was like,
We got no choice but to compare it to war. And even then, this is going to be even crazier.
No. In the beginning of the chapter, he was talking about Sukauchi's ancestors. And then, and yes, that's AFO at the, okay. I like that you pointed that out, Daniel. The AFO at the beginning of the chapter shows more of his flaws. He has quirks that he can't remember every detail because either they got mixed, never bothered to find the details, or were stolen long ago. And that's how I feel about it, where AFO, while very powerful, has limited himself. And that's also why I said that Shigaraki getting hit by Star and Stripe isn't really a nerf when you think about the fact that, to a certain degree, the tyranny of options became an issue for somebody in his position. You know what I mean? Where Shigaraki has, you know, if you have like 100 quirks to choose from, you're like, oh, wait, that quirk, or maybe that quirk, that one. But like if you got 7 like Deku does, then it's just like this, or this. And if that doesn't work, I'll try to make it work with this. You know, different energy entirely. So,
Hey, SW, you must be new here. I don't, like I've been saying for 1,000 years and 1,000 years to come. this is not the end of this series in its entirety, and I do believe there'll be a continuation. And nobody's changed my mind until I see Dobby, Toga fall and lose, and then not
Hold
be
on.
a clone.
Real quick question. Cody no Kami, have you read Vigilantes? Though if this new Bleach content does really good, Shonen Jump might push MHA further down to focus on one of the more popular series. MHA is one of the more popular series. It's still one of the top 5 selling manga in Japan. So, and I agree with the notion that this battle being the end of All for One makes the most sense, because All for One, the person, isn't nearly as important as All for One, the quirk at this point. And with him having passed on that quirk, he is just a husk, a shell, clinging to embers of power. Everything bad he said about All Might is what he represents now. And it'll be fascinating to see if, as All for One reaches that end of his run, if somebody straight up makes it a point to call him out and say those things about him. Also, how do y'all feel about the fact that Deku is still rocking Gran Torino's cape?
I told y'all he was gonna keep rocking that. I know, bro. I was happy as hell when I saw those panels of that cape. Like, that means a lot to me, him wearing that cape. Cause season 2, him and Gran Torino. Listen, those episodes, those are the only things that kept me going for a few days. So the fact that he's still wearing that and he's about to fight All for One, like, killing is another way to save, man. I gotta see if it matches the drip though. We need a color page, bro. We need.
Because they're going to announce the arc soon.
Yeah, I want a color page. Like, I want to see like the colors, like, because if that's all black, if Deku got on the all black with the yellow cape and then the mid gauntlets mixed with Air Force with the red shoes, that's like so fire.
I feel like it's his standard green and red, but green, red, and yellow. Because if you remember there's an old color page where Deku's wearing Gran Torino's cape.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I saw it on the TL earlier. Yeah, he finally made it there because of the way he looks on the last page.
Yeah,
with the cape, like it looks like same as that image.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know what Hatsume did, but those gauntlets are looking sweet too. Like the new bracer at the top, like she's been working on those.
Yep, just put here. The only thing that's missing is that he didn't have the knife from Aizawa.
Speaking of Aizawa, he should be here.
I'm surprised we haven't seen him.
Because, this is what I'm saying. It's like,
if Aizawa's not there and Shiggy's there, oh my.
They need to, bro. It's like they have to sprint. They have to spread all their hitters because, like, they got sleepers. We got hitters, right? We got hitters. Like, Endeavor's a hitter. Miracle's a hitter. Orca, Genius. You got Edshot. They hitters, right? But you still got to spread them apart because, Mirio's at another battlefront. I can't wait until we finally get to see where he's at. Not because I'm worried, because these niggas won't shut the fuck up.
Nah, Aniki, how you feel? Mirio's still getting shafted, bro.
Look, I ain't gonna trip because the way I'm looking at this is that Mirio is a character that Horikoshi is going to put deliberate care into. So if he's going to bring it back into the story, he's going to do that. But also, Mirio's character arc is kind of complete, so I'm not tripping off it.
Like I said, he's just here to fight. That's
like
narrative less than the story. He's just there to fucking throw hands because this is all it's about at this point. He just needs to throw. He don't need to do anything else but throw his fucking hands. Like, that's it. Why he not with his other two big three? I don't know. But in fact, it's kind of better for him because now he can be separated and he can shine because we have a lot of heavy hitters here. But when he goes to another battlefield, he'll be an all-star. And this time it's really gonna be throwing dukes and blows. Now,
I'm pretty. Like I told you, East. I'm pretty sure he's at UA. Somebody has to be defending UA. Like,
bro, I was thinking, right? I'm thinking, right? I'm like, bro, we got a lot of niggas we don't know where they at, and they heavy hitters. It's like we got the now I know the Pussycats here, but we still got Mount Lady, we still got Cemento Snipe. Mike can really Kamui Woods. Mike can fuck people up whether y'all realize it or not. He can kill niggas if he wanted to. Like, where's Eraser? Where's a lot of our heavy hitters from 1A? It's like, and that's another thing.
Where's Kachan?
Yeah, another thing. Y'all niggas really goofy if you think this is really like, okay, the final battle. Final battle starts right now. You really think 1A not gonna be a part of it? Not a single other character by Ayama Deku, really. I'm so glad Bakugo down here because he get to fucking do his own shit and not have to worry about Deku reckless ass.
Shoto's not even here. That's why I don't think this is the real Dobby.
Well, a lot of niggas talking about like endeavoring him jumping them. Where the fuck is Shoto at? Because they can't run over here because they finna have their hands occupied with other places. This is not the only villain's front.
Spinner's not here. Even on the villain side, there's people missing. Like, I know that Twice Clone is around somewhere. He just tucking him.
Also, like, with
Daniel, that guy's name is Greninja, to further notice, by the way.
Hey, Greninja a goat. I ain't got no issues with that. Okay, and yes, I'm aware he's actually a frog. Don't correct me. So let you get that easy joke.
Bro, Greninja has to do something crazy. He's really been in the shadows lurking.
Bro, he had spotlight sprinkling on him. He been there since they all got introduced. He been there since the fucking war. Like, he keep coming and like sprinkling it back. I'm betting money on 3 niggas. It's Greninja, this Gus, which is the nigga with the nigga that y'all seen talking for Spinner with the mic and the mask.
The black robe and the spider light.
Yeah, spider shit type of shit. And gas mask guy. I'm betting on 3 niggas. And those all my 3 niggas. He finna come in clutch. Nigga got a fucking sword, bro. Straight katana. In a suit. I promise.
And all for one brought him for this battle. Like, handpicked.
But all for one I picked him on Scrubs. He didn't come here to like, it wasn't like when he sent those fodder niggas for Deku, some of them fodder. He ain't coming like that. He came to fucking like real deal.
Nomu are here too. This fight is about to be crazy because
I like how you can tell Sun Eater's nervous.
He should be. I was just about to bring up Fat Gum too. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not saying our lineup is trash because it's not, but the villains lineup is better.
Bro, we don't even know what they pack. What we know they packing is heat. We know 30% of what they packing, and all that shit is fire. We don't know 70% of what we got there. We know about 85 to 95% of the heroes we got.
Because, like, my thing is that first off, we got a Nomu here. We don't know where Aizawa is. And I feel like let's see, what was he talking about when he was? Because I feel like Search actually did get mentioned again in this chapter. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe it was just that I ranted so long about Search.
No. Search did get mentioned on the double spread with the villains. He was like, it tells the location and weaknesses. So they can see the weaknesses too of these niggas. Like,
all for one of infirm niggas.
Yeah.
Infirm niggas. Oh.
Hello.
Look who here.
Bonzu.
Yo, people. How y'all doing? Oh, man. Just read this chapter. Literally. Oh, Hawkins. What's up, man? Okay. So, yeah. Damn. It feels like it is rushing to the end. It's fucking weird. This cannot be the end of My Hero Academia, though. It's fucking weird right now. Shigaraki is using like as a pawn. That's painful. Literally, it is the scare. It is the most scary ending possible for My Hero Academia. Having All for One as the last villain, Shigaraki as a pawn. It feels so rushed that it feels fake even. Literally.
This is fake.
I don't know
It is
why
fake.
it's fake.
It's so
No,
it's
It's
fake,
those
fake.
man.
those are clones. You're not. Nobody's convincing me otherwise. Until I see a body
Oh.
drop and they don't
Uh-huh.
turn to goop, and I see blood. Those are clones.
Oh damn, man.
Bro, because you got two of the villains here who don't even have their main rivals. Like, Ochako's not here, so Toga can't go down here. Chodo's not here, Dabi can't go down. So the only one you can make an argument for is Shigaraki.
And Shigaraki
Man.
here, and Shigaraki just jumped here after all that hype and recuperating and passing singularity. He just pops up, no spinner, no nothing. Just like, I'm here with this fit. With this fit.
Also, I'm gonna point out that part of the reason why things feel quote rushed for people is one, everybody keeps saying that it's rushing, which makes people be like, wait, are they going fast? But two, y'all realize we spent a good chunk of 2019 with people saying the war arc was the end of MHA, right?
Yeah.
I feel like people forget that. So
I forgot that.
So we spent at least a good half of 2019 at least with people saying the war arc was the end of MHA, which basically means we've been in the end of MHA as far as the public is concerned since 2019.
Yep.
2020. Like maybe like how do you rush something for 2 years? You see what I'm saying, Ponzi? Like,
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm telling you. It's so unbelievable to say that you feel that you can smell the trap. Like it is a trap. It's really written on the story right now. If it doesn't, if it doesn't, is because when you know Horikoshi is writing the way that Horikoshi is writing, he writes his story so well. He had some good ideas and some good execution. So when you see this of him, you're thinking to yourself, okay, it's a trap. You know what I mean? Because you can feel. I don't feel it is. I don't feel the. It does. It. I don't feel it is the end. It's just like it seems like it's. You know when you're talking to someone, you're having conversation with someone, but you know that that the guy is faking like really hard, faking, trying to do his best to show you something that they are not. That's what I'm feeling right now while reading My Hero Academia. You know, trying to push that agenda. Oh, it is the end of the story. Literally, it feels like the story could end like in any chapter, like 10 chapter that comes at the end of the story. It's how it feels, and it feels so forced, so like you don't believe that it is. You know, it's so fake that you feel that it's so pushed. It's so the feeling of trying to shock you. You know that no, you're not that person. You know, you're just faking. You're faking right now. It's weird. It's funny. It's really funny because I really can't wait to see how the story the you told us how the story is ending. Literally, I really damn. I don't know where we're going right now because Toga can be used to make the clothes of Twice, and then she can use the real people to attack uh, the MHA building. Literally, she can do that too. By the way, guys, like the stream, show your love. You know how it's doing, how we work here. Please. But yeah.
it three. Okay, I shouldn't say it's been 3 years, I should say the end of 2019, because that was around the time we got the Kurogiri reveal into 2020. Like once the war started, that was when the end of MHA was happening. And that's how we ended up arguing with certain people about how, oh, Bakugo's being set up to die right now. And being like, no. And then being like, no, it makes sense for it to happen now. Because if you truly believe the war arc was the end, then yeah, it was a good time for that to happen.
Yep, facts.
But so, and my stance on this is My Hero has always been a fast series. When I got into MHA, one of the things I really, really liked about it was that, and for a lot of what we get now in this current gen of manga, because stop saying new gen, just say current gen. Like they got faster. So I feel like My Hero is as fast as it's always been, but people didn't feel like it was as fast anymore because they got to a certain point of familiarity with other really fast series too. So
like Black Clover.
Yeah, like Black Clover is way faster. Even JJK is faster. So I think that with
Even for me,
like,
the Stone has been faster. Like,
yeah. Like ignoring the types of narratives that they tell, obviously, because some people will probably be like, well, Dr. Stone isn't that fast, but what they really mean is there's not a whole bunch of fights. So, but like for what Dr. Stone is, oh yeah, because like once every 3 chapters, they advance civilization a couple 100 years or so.
well, every chapter I'll be like, whoa, we already doing this, we already doing that. And then I read MHA, and then that's how people act when they read MHA. I'm like, I don't feel this way. Like, I mean, I know what that feeling is like, but I don't get that with MHA. Like that shit is going too fast.
But yeah.
Also, sorry, Ponzo. I think I zoned out when you said something to me earlier.
Yeah, say hello.
My bad. My bad. I
say hello. I was happy to see you, man.
Yeah.
To hear you.
Yeah, my bad.
No problem.
Hello. I snuck in. I'm late. I'm later than I thought I would be.
Bishop Sayers.
I didn't know that I would make it. I came before you. Sayers.
I thought I'd be half an hour late. Now I'm an hour late.
Hey, I'm always late, so it's okay.
Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, friendship at its finest.
Yes.
Yeah.
So to add to this last discussion, I do think that MHA picked up the pace a little bit in this arc, but that's mostly because we are skipping a lot of things that other people thought we would get into, like this whole emotional discussion about Twice has been very fast, and as well as dealing with the injuries. That's all been kind of skipped, and I think that's why it feels so fast.
So it's obvious that like a lot of people wanted a chapter where people just sat down and said, I'm sad.
Yes, that's obvious.
Yeah.
And it wasn't there.
For me, if I see blatant trauma symptoms, I'm just going to be like, all right, cool.
But you know, that's the thing that blows me once again. It's like, so did we not have The Wrong Way to Put Out a Fire, part 1 and 2? The Hell is Total Rocket House Show, part 2. Like,
hello, sis.
Izuku Midori and Toshinori Yagi, Izuku Midori and Tinko Shimura, Shigaraki Shimura. It's like, did we not have those chapters of them in the hospital crying, dealing with that stuff? Like,
people wanted the
like. I understand. Like,
we had the flashback. We had the flashback, absolutely. But I think what many people would have liked was like this somber funeral scene, which some mangas and some stories do when a character dies. It is halfway important.
Yeah, you see that works though in context of our arc is over. Now let's get back to reality in real life. The reality of the real life here is 10,000 fucking psychopaths have broken out their respective prisons, are all over the entire country, causing goddamn havoc, God knows where, doing Lord knows what, and we're losing all the manpower we have. There wasn't a time to be like, all right, let's gather everybody together and bow our heads for midnight. She wasn't the only person that died. Like in another arc, that's fine. Like, okay, fucking overhaul. Okay.
Like Night
Things
was
that
the person
yeah,
that
like
died.
the status quo is still there after Night Eye died. Japan is in complete and utter fucking chaos and turmoil after the war. Like, split second, heroes are dropping by the dozens. Midnight is not the only person that died. And Deku basically left the date 2 days after he got out of the hospital. So we didn't have time to even have a funeral because they're like, okay, where Deku at? Well, Deku missed the funeral. The niggas want to complain about that.
Aizawa was in the hospital the whole time. Aizawa wouldn't even have been there.
Yeah, he just getting out today. And that's because they forced him out.
Oh, thanks, Andrew, for the super chat.
And thank you, Andrew. Because like I understand, it's like, okay, but the niggas, because the thing that it be irritating me is like, if you wanted more, say that. Niggas act like we didn't get a single thing. We just jumped and never seen anybody's emotions. We seen that right after and a couple of chapters after. Niggas was like, yo, we still down bad. Like them seeing Midnight's dead body crying mean nothing. And then they double back on it. Mina's still fucking crying. You can see the tears in Momo's eyes in distress. Fucking Shoto's still dealing with his damn dad, him and his brother being alive, and they in the hospital depressed. Bach go over there going crazy. Ida and them was like, and then Deku's shit about Sanase's Shigaraki, and then Shoto with his family and the flashbacks for that. Like, y'all act like we didn't get nothing. That's the shit that we like. If you want more, ask for it, but don't just front like we didn't get shit and he just cut and trim stuff. That's the shit that blows me.
Like, for me, what it amounts to is all the stuff, like the let me sit down and be sad parts that we could have gotten are all scenes that we would have come back to because they're scenes that will come into play later. So that's kind of how I look at it, is which is any discussion that, like, for example, Mina and Jiro could have had over being sad about what happened is going to come up again if Mina is getting actual focus, and which she has been for a good chunk of this, as far as getting more time talking and stuff like that and interacting. So,
and there's no better time to get. There's no more time the fat people eat shit up than when niggas are fighting.
But I also
motivation.
Like I said, though, based off of mathematics, Makia alone impacted like 1 million people. They genuinely didn't have actual time for stuff like this. That's why Aoyama's comment is really poignant in this chapter, where he's like, where he says, "Oh, I could pay to get out of jail." Blah 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 blah. Imagine still trying to do all this stuff, which we've seen. They are still trying to arrest people and book them. When you go back to Deku versus Muscular, round 2, where he drops them off and it's like, you guys have Iron Maidens, right? Cool, lock them up. So it's like they're trying to maintain this semblance of society they had before. And so, and Tanisha, it's not that it wasn't that it wasn't in a showy way, it's that it wasn't in a telling way. They wanted to just be told instead of having to like look and be like, oh, that person is doing this differently now. That person is doing this differently now. These must be symptoms to the bad things they went through. They were just like, these people are slightly different. This is in no way connected to the previous art or the previous experiences. It's been neglected. I'm out. But again, this section of the story is the 3rd act. This is Return of the Jedi. This is a sequel to the Rise of the Villain saga that culminated with the war arc. You got to stop treating it like it's like, as far as the narrative purpose goes of act to act to act, there's usually a bit of narrative breath in there. So I mean, just roll with me here, work with it.
I don't know. It's not like niggas don't be just bouncing back after deaths anyway. When niggas die, they cry and they move on, and niggas revert back to the same cells a lot of times.
Say this is Return of the Jedi. I'm just waiting for our Ewoks to show up.
That'll be the liberated Nomu.
Yes.
And that's gonna be crazy. They'll be like, damn, we using Nomu? They're like, damn, the heroes really got no choice in this motherfucker. They getting low and dirty. Then the villain's gonna be like, that's cute, you know what I'm saying? Let me just shoot this needle into my arm real quick. Now we can both play fair.
Pull out a normal.
I mean, let's see. Ooh, if I had to predict, I can see Aoyama. Okay, so somebody posted this and they were like, I called it word for word. They said, let's see, the trader subplot isn't over yet. Well, duh. It's pretty obvious that Aoyama hasn't gotten over his fear of AFO. When he finally meets him, and where he ends up after all this is over is going to decide everything. Feels like some of Aoyama's best moments are ahead of us. If I had to predict, I can see Aoyama still being held back by his fear of AFO when he confronts him. The absence of his classmates would end up giving him the courage to overcome it. It will be like the time in the forest training camp when he lays the marbles from compress.
There you go. And another thing, say I said
that in early January. So
say I said something about the twice thing. I was like, well, lo and behold, that shit's coming back around. Instead of giving everybody just a basic response to the death, and if Twice's thing was not to bring Shigaraki back immediately, or it is, then it's gonna come at the most perfect time possible, because it's gonna be like, now at this point, now he's really, it's at the basically 99 going into 100%, and now it's really time to stop it all, just take over at that point. So once again, it's coming when it should have come. People act like I got skimmed over, but like I said, I got my W because Twice didn't get forgot about like people tried to portray it to be, because guess what? His quirk is back, which means that nigga is definitely coming back, at least as a clone. That's all they need in order to get even more closure. Because I've seen this in multiple series, the 2 series specifically, where a character died and then they came back later on, not as like their real man, not no real cells in their real body, like came back to life, but they came back in a different type of way so that other characters could get closure way after their person's death.
My goat from Gurren Lagann. I won't spoil
actually,
it. Though.
That's 3. That's fucking 3 right there.
I won't spoil it in case you haven't watched Gurren Lagann yet.
Yeah. If you haven't, you something wrong with you, but that's besides the point. You need to be on that gas. It's like,
okay,
man,
full disclosure, I couldn't get through Gurren Lagann.
You get a pass, so we're gonna let you slide. Now everybody else, yeah, something wrong with y'all. We're gonna let you get a pass, so we're gonna let you slide. I got Gurren Lagann, I got JJK, y'all know, with that scene on the train. And that motherfucker was assistant to Shibuya. If you know, you know. And then also with Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer. There are characters that came back after their death. They didn't get revived, but they came back in different various ways, and their death still that person got closure with a conversation they need to have, which is about to happen with Twice and Shigaraki too. Because Horikoshi paid a lot of good attention to detail with that fucking relationship, especially in NBA. You actually reread that part. Definitely rewatch that. Reread that specifically.
Reread.
And then you can't say, oh, well, it's too late or this, that, and other, because then, once again, y'all get proven wrong every time when all you had to do was wait for something, and then the payoff comes. The trader reveal still being used, got back way later. I remember all y'all was eating that Dobby reveal up. So, when it comes, and it was needed to come. But, y'all be on that. Now, back to the chapter. Who want to smoke with me? Who want to smoke with me? Man, I'm shell shocked, bro. It's here. We finally here.
Hands is so weak.
Next week, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Even when we get a flashback, somebody getting matched up with somebody. There's no way around it.
If it's a flashback, it's gonna end with the head up starting.
Literally, either the matchups happen, the bare minimum matchups happen, full throttle hands thrown. There's no in between. There's no outside of that. There's no outside of that.
I think Dobby gonna throw the move.
Bro, that's what I'm saying too. Okay, that's another thing too, right? All of us can literally predict what happens next chapter, or how this plays out first off, and we can all be wrong. There's so much chaos acting suit. Literally, Dobby and Dever don't even have to match up first. Dobby the type of nigga to let somebody outdo Endeavor and wear him down and just sneak in for that blow real quick, and then get revealed to be a clone. Especially if he be a clone. Oh my god, he could really go all out. Just let Endeavor run himself dry and then go all out.
Yo, whatever Greninja the first to step up next chapter, he I've been waiting.
I'm telling you, bro. I need this nigga name and quirk now. Go ahead, man. I text that nigga Corey. He better stop playing me. I'm like, hey, bro, you got 3 chapters to reveal this nigga because I ain't playing with you no more. You had me tweaking for this nigga since 258. You gonna reveal this nigga now, bro? We on 343. I'm since 258. I've been waiting for this nigga.
Nigga just showed him again
back,
at the 2 chapters ago with Spinner. He just showed him again. You bringing him back.
Bro, it's finna be so old. It's finna be so juicy. I told y'all Headshot was gonna get another fight too. If Redemption gonna come back, don't worry about that. But I knew Headshot was gonna get another fight, a proper fight.
Wise gonna get a fight too.
Bro, that's crazy. And that's the thing too. Like, imagine Dami throw a big ass like prominence burn at everybody on the field, and they try to split, but then Wise take that bitch back out. Like, bro, in this the niggas we don't even know who could have AOE attacks all time. You see, we don't know shit. That's what I'm talking about, bro. Like the new villains.
Gang Orca fight. Like we've seen Gang Orca fight like with students. We didn't really see him go all out.
Bro.
Like,
and then Shishido is here. I've been waiting for this nigga ever since they talked about him. With what chapter was that? 253, I think it was, like when the kids were doing their little thing and shit. When the kids were like came back.
Didn't he train somebody?
He trained Ojiro and Sato and told them like how to. He basically taught them how to throw hands. He's like predict your opponent's move and move accordingly. Some along the lines of that. And if you like read Omodeki Zoo, you know that nigga just a beast that just be throwing hands.
Yeah, I don't even know what Sun Eater about to do. Who he about to fight? What he eat today? Like
what?
Nedjure,
Right, she about to get her. She about to get her. Thank God.
Everybody, listen, y'all been hating on Nedjure. Like I've been hating on her too, cause she ain't getting no real fight. But that might finally happen. We might finally get a little Nedjure scrap.
My stance on this is: look, we got multiple Nomu, we got convicts for days. We can splurge because like one of the things I want to say though, like people said that Mirio was neglected, but the fact that when All For One is like sitting here thinking about like the assets of the team and like Mirio comes to mind. I mean, World Coach is still putting respect on his name.
Okay, let me be perfectly honest. If you look at this lineup, right, the hero lineup, that's like the best heroes out there, right? They are. I mean, let's exclude Aoyama, who's not really that strong, but the others are like all top tier heroes and students. And I really don't like the idea of just any random convict being able to keep up with them. I don't like the idea.
No.
So here's my thing though. Hold on. I agree with that, but only for Endeavor. Does that seem weird?
No.
I understand the reasoning. It's just for me, it's like also like somebody like Edshot or even Wash. Like Wash, we don't really know if he's there for strength wise, but Mirko, the likes of like Nejire and Amakiji, who are like the strongest students, plus minus Deku, of course. It's just like somebody had to have thrown these guys in prison, and I just doubt that was all just All Might doing all the work.
Nah,
but it was though.
But for me, it's just this idea that some random riffraff who was defeated, I don't know how many years ago, and then didn't get any training since then, would be able to keep up with the like top 10 heroes who have been training all their lives, even if they haven't trained as hard as somebody like Endeavor. It just for me is it's so weird. I don't like it.
So you know how it usually seems like I'm just joking when I slander Crust. Part of the reason I do that, though, is because to me, there seems to be a very clear gap between like the top 5 and the rest of the heroes. Because what we got out of Crust in comparison to what we got out of Mirko, Hawks, even some of the Genius interactions, and especially Endeavor, there's just and part of that is just his type of quirk, right? Like his quirk just isn't that great at that. But so I have like mixed feelings about
that man dead, please.
Because on one hand, I understand what you're saying, Sayas, because like to a certain degree, unless you
they're professionals, and it's just
unless you have a busted quirk, most of these heroes should be able to fight you and win.
Yeah.
Like we know that Dick Tongue nigga was strong enough to fight multiple heroes at least. So we can, before he got locked up, and he was only locked up a year ago. So
yeah, of course there are exceptions. Just this idea that, especially with like the whole mutant revolution thingy, because that kind of has the energy of these people have just been living their life and suffering so much abuse and discrimination that now they snap. But it doesn't give me the energy of like an actual army that has spent any amount training. Which means to me this whole mutant army, the idea that the mutant army, like somebody from Tartarus, I cannot see if you say they were like big back when they were still out and it took like 3 heroes to take them down. Yeah, I can see that. But for some random mutant who just joins them because he's angry, to be a threat to any hero is beyond my comprehension. I don't like it.
Hold on. That's the way you should have started it, because the way you phrased it at first made it seem like none of these guys should have been on the level.
No, the thing with Tartarus, I'm a bit iffy. I'm a bit iffy with Tartarus, but I can see it.
Tartarus is different. Like anybody from Tartarus, they up there. Like they that is the biggest and baddest prison.
Bro,
in
this. God, we got a whole exposition page about like these are the most dangerous individuals in Quirk society. Like,
yeah, but I use Tartarus now here to kind of to talk about like the ex-convicts, which weren't just Tartarus prisoners. Like many of these escaped prisoners are just from random prisons.
Yeah, they're from various prisons, but at the same time, they had to be in prison. And again, Quirk matchups also matter. Cementos ain't at the top 10 Billboard charts, but he could bang with niggas in the top 10 easily. It's just all about what you do, what your quirk is. Like the kid Juzo and Mushroom Shimogi are like kids, but they could bang.
I went back to the Tartarus chapter. It says the facility effectively serves as a dumping ground for individuals who threaten or have threatened public safety and security to a drastic extent. Like everybody in Tartarus has done something wild, like at some point. I don't think it's far-fetched to say they got quirks where it's like they just do something and then some wild shit happens. Like they don't even need complex quirks. They just need simple quirks that they can just do crazy shit with.
Exactly, like literally, like, and we don't know by any stretch of the imagination what horticulture wants to pull. Can't nobody say anything because it's like, well, why do we hear about him before? Why would you hear about a prisoner in Tartarus? Why would he randomly drop that nigga? He's in Tartarus. They were never supposed to escape in the first place.
We know that some of the soldiers in the Paranormal Liberation Front, they said that all of them have the strength of an average hero. So when you got like civilians who just want to use their
which already annoyed me.
So that's the story says.
They just I don't know, whipped out some 100,000 people who could just keep up with any heroes.
Because one of the things that I do want to point out to that is that first off, they oversold themselves a little. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Some of them did. Obviously, some of them are more competent than others. And they weren't as prepared to get chain casted on. And
they got jumped, bro.
Like a whole bunch of other variables that kind of go into that. But the average hero is not that impressive.
Bro, the average hero is basically manual rock lock pussycat.
No, but already with the average hero, it annoyed me that the PLF members were a threat to them. Like the leaders, of course, the higher ranking, of course, I see that. But to me, they were just like introduced as just random people who, at some point, themselves, throughout their own, basically self-trained people, and there were so many of them. You just but. Like heroes have professionally trained all their lives, and
this is something we need to establish too. Also, they specifically said the advisors, more so than anybody, are above your average hero. The advisors, those are the top dogs. They didn't say like every single hero, every single like random civilian is above a hero. They didn't say like every single random civilian is above a hero. They specifically named the advisors are above the average heroes.
A Tartarus escapee has to be top 10 pro level at least. Like
they're not below top 20.
To be in like Dictator was caught by Crust. And Dictator was pretty dangerous. You see how many civilians he had on hand who was wilding, all using their quirk?
That's not just that. That's not just regular like You don't need to just have super strength and some shit like that to be dangerous. Like
That's
that's more
super
dangerous.
brainwashing. He did Shinso's brainwash like on a AOE level. He had
Yeah,
like
but that's why I pointed out the roast of the heroes that we see in the panel. Because Aoyama aside, I'd say that I mean Gang Orca isn't technically top 10, but he is
not.
I
He used
think
to
on
be.
that level as the top 5 to 10.
Gang Orca
strength
used to
wise.
be top 10, so he's in that caliber.
Yeah, he is in that tier, even if he doesn't have officially the rank. Same thing with Fat Gum. I think he's more on the stronger side in terms of heroes.
I think Fat Gum was like 58. The top 100 is good. It don't matter. Fat, like,
Yeah.
he's strong. He's definitely strong, but Sun Eater is stronger than him.
Yeah. I think it's the whole thing about this rank. People get too gassed up with the top 10. It's like you don't got to be in the top 10 to be somebody or be in a very efficient hero. Night Eye was super fucking efficient, and he was definitely not in no top 10 shit. Aizawa not even in rankings, and he's fucking out there.
As far as I'm concerned, Aizawa the number one hero.
Haha, shit, man. Okay.
Yo, he's the one. He's the one that got Monoma here.
Monoma is, by the way, my favorite part about the chapter is Monoma.
I love that panel of him in the mist. I love that panel, like the little smug look on his face, like.
And also shout out to Melo too, because he also did have this to say too. They had a month to get back in shape. All those niggas from Tartarus, so they needed to get out and this, that, and other. The hero, think about this. The villains have been running free, loving their life and stretching their legs with nobody to keep them in check. The heroes have been running themselves ragged and dry with no manpower, trying to get everybody under this. All that you gotta think about the stress these niggas have been under at this point. Like we clowning niggas for quitting, but think about it, realistically in this world, because it is hyper realistic a lot of times. Think how stressed out and tired these niggas actually are. They don't got no.
Yeah, I don't say I never had a night to sleep. Actually, restful sleep.
Exactly, and they've been running around trying to find PLF members and all types of shit this entire month. Meanwhile, these villains been stretching their legs, flexing, getting back in shape, like all types of shit. While the heroes been running themselves dry, trying to do all this shit. You got a super chat from Mello Tarnish. He said, Father Tarnish, damn, you that nigga father? Put his son in check. He said, Father Tarnish, the Tartarus convicts also had a month to train. They're back in shape too. You didn't have to waste your money on that. Just say something else. You had to waste your money on that because I read that. So you go say something else and I'll treat it as a super chat.
What?
Because he already said that before, and I was going to read it.
He did.
And then
I wasn't looking in the chat.
He made a super chat right after I read his original comment. So he basically wasted his money. So I'm telling him to make another comment, and I'll treat it as a super chat.
And wow, that's figured out. I don't think we talked about that, but okay. Here's what I'll say. The Shinso theory makes a bunch of sense, and I think it's correct because not letting Shinso be able to talk to people while he brain controls them takes out a good chunk of why brainwashing is useful. But also, it gives his quirks somewhere to improve to, beyond just being able to brainwash more people or brainwash them. So if anything, I think what could end up happening is that as brainwash gets better and better and better, it becomes more subtle. So it's like you pull up, they answer your question, you implant the command, move along. I think that's what the theory that I'll say, Alves, the theory is that Shinso brainwashed Aoyama and Aoyama's mother while they were on the phone. And that's why AFO couldn't detect anything from them because they were brainwashed. Therefore, all that was coming from them was their responses and nothing else. No feelings.
What's the Shinso theory?
That Shinso brainwashed them.
The Aoyama's mother is plausible because if you look at the panel of Aoyama's mother, it looks like she's sleeping.
Yeah, she's got those whited out eyes. So
Aoyama is debatable. Aoyama himself is debatable. I think Aoyama just made a decision, and that's why he didn't register. Because
I think Aoyama.
He really had to make he really had the choice, join All For One right now or go with Deku. I don't think he was capping with anything he said. His mom though, she looks brainwashed.
I'm assuming you've already talked about it, but I assume that that quirk AFO talks about is Takauchi's ancestor, right?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that person in the chat who was like, nah, bro, you can't say it's Sukauchi's people. And I'm like, who else has the polygraph quirk and a family that rose
so
up
you
to
did-
go
you did
against
discuss
All
it.
For One? I said it as soon as it came up. Like, as soon as I read it, I went on a rant about it. Like, if you watch the first 3 minutes of me actually reading the chapter, it's just me talking about the Sukauchi stuff. I'm pretty sure. Nah, Koichi is okay. Koichi really might not show up, and that's a little sad. But I mean,
I don't know that nigga living. To be honest with you, he telling you him and Pop.
We kind of need him in this lineup, to be honest, because our lineup looking kind of weak.
No, actually, I got a bone to pick with you, matter of fact, Tarnish.
But I did.
You talk about he got a Deku for the carry.
Deku about to carry,
He
bro.
got to carry his body, bro. He got
about
to
to
fight
carry. Listen,
Rocky.
I'm surprised we ain't talking about that yet. This man Deku gonna have to fight All For One and the Shiggy / Shiggy clone,
I have
whichever
no
one you
idea
want to say.
how they're gonna do that. Like, do they want Endeavor to fight All For One while he fights Shigaraki, and Shoto fights Dabi?
Shoto's not there.
Yeah, Shoto is not there, but I assume they didn't show everybody. I assume that.
I'm pretty sure
They definitely did it. They definitely did it show everybody because the Pussycats seem to be there. Because we see a little. Nah,
they show the people we should be on the lookout for, primarily. And once again,
I think it's insane that Aizawa is not there. That's literally insane.
But once again, at the same time, it's like, how many more people do you want there? Throw all your chips in one deck and see what happens. All your eggs in one basket and see what happens. They got niggas for days. The heroes have to spread themselves thin at this point because they got, okay, let's say we throw 5 more people y'all want in there. They still got high tier convicts elsewhere and high ends to throw at 3 other locations. And still got people to spare.
Spend it with the mutants.
Yeah, it's like they still got people to spare. And those high, and then just throwing a bunch of mid-tier mutants, like you says, no matter if they high tier or not. You give them some gear and just throw them at a bunch of them, 100 niggas with gear that's ready to fight and throw their lives and rise up after all the discrimination they face their whole lives. They're dangerous. And then you got those fodder, and then you let the convicts come. Like, they have quantity for days over the heroes in multiple locations. While the heroes are scarce and they have to pick and choose where they put in their heavy hitters because they only have so many of them. We don't know what the convicts have. Like, a lot. These people are in prison for reasons. Like, each location, they can just throw all Tartarus here, Sion here, and the other prison here. Then add some random PLF, new PLF, some heteromorphs in each section, and then like so on and so forth. So like they had to pick and choose where they putting people in certain places. Just like they did in the war, they chose to put certain people here, certain people there. Like they put Aizawa with the high ends. They chose to put all the kids over here. They chose to put the evacuation squad like at this location. Like they got to be as strategic as possible. Because, you know, we need heavy hitters in other locations. Me, I would have brought Aizawa here too, but hey, it's a reason he not.
Aizawa would have been here and Mirio would have been here. Mirio specifically because he could go intangible, and Shigaraki touching him is dangerous.
I think Aizawa needs to be there if they want to separate them, because I'm assuming they have this whole separate and conquer plan, which of course at the moment nothing is separated; they're all together. So I'm assuming that the plan is for Monoma to basically throw them around the same way Kurogiri did in USJ. But that only works if you have somebody canceling AFOs, and I assume Shigaraki, I don't know, own teleportation quirk. So they need
honestly
for that, right?
They can kill All For One, to be 100% honest. Because if Aizawa looks at All For One time, he might just die.
Yeah, the way he gonna age is like Ujiko. I know he got another quirk helping him keep alive. So they bust his respirator, which ain't that hard. You seen how Ujiko aged when Aizawa looked at him, bro?
Dog was like,
if he looks at All For One,
that nigga was ugly, boy.
All For One might die if Aizawa looks at him one time, or Monoma. Monoma might have that quirk copy.
But also, damn, You're right. There's no reason for Monoma not to have Aizawa's quirk copy.
He might die. Like, I hope Monoma just has portals next to people that he could copy. Like you said for Kurogiri, like, you know, Aizawa's there too. He's like, yo, I need to erase something real quick. Like, give me a quirk. And Monoma can put his head anywhere. Pause. Like,
technically, he can just make his eye pop up somewhere. Boom, boom, boom. You know,
like that'd be OP.
You know what's funny? Thank you, Alves. At this point, the fact that y'all don't believe these are clones kind of shows y'all ain't even paying attention. Because they literally just did that shit to Ujiko clone and Redestro 2 arcs ago.
like,
And we didn't have a president for them using that. We got one here. Like the other time, it was like, oh shit, they use a clone. I mean, it makes sense, but we didn't know they was going to do that. Here, we knew they was going to use clones. This is the first time.
And think about this too. The quirk double does not get negated by Aizawa's quirk. So the clones don't go away just because they get looked at by Aizawa. So the clones would still be there even if they were getting their quirks erased. So we could really be seeing the ultimate fake out.
Right would the clone still be there if the original got the quirk erased?
Yeah, they don't relate to each other. Like, just because the original died don't mean nothing to the clone, technically.
Because Ujiko said that, like, when he got looked at by Aizawa, he was like, okay, so the clones don't go away just because they get looked at by Aizawa. But their quirks, the clone, their quirk does go away still. Like, that's why Ujiko aids the way he did. He was basically a clone, no quirk.
Exactly.
So, like, they're on a layer. So, like, them niggas just being there, that's really over. Yo, I can't wait.
That's kind of wild that the clone doesn't go away when Aizawa looks. That's kind of busted, low key.
Well, the clone itself is like the clone's quirk can be erased, but because it technically makes another person until it hits a limit.
It's a whole entity.
It's an actual human being.
Just a bit of a muddy person.
White despair, black hope. Yeah, the off one be dead if they looked at that nigga. That nigga I know he got a quirk helping to keep his ass alive. Shit, he said I can't even see. I just use infrared to keep me to see, nigga. I can't even actually see out my damn face.
Guys, I have a question. Because I just think about it. Do you think that All for One, because All for One can copy quirk, he has to take it than to give it, you know? Because I was thinking about how can you put the quirk because the blood of Twice, like, for what we saw, the vial is not that big. So because we know from one dropper he could have 1 minute of use of the power of I don't remember what was the amount, but if I remember, a cup of tea of blood for her was enough for 1 day, from what I remember, for to transform herself. But if she transforms herself into Twice, do you think that All for One can manipulate in a way that he can absorb the quirk of Twice, then give it to her? Or because how can she use that quirk? Like, how can she spam that quirk? That was my question.
I mean, that's not that hard to think of. She knows how to use. She knows how Twice uses the quirk. It says she can use the quirk of people she loves. She don't need a whole day. You only need it for 1 minute to make one clone. After that, the clone makes another clone, just how Twice did his shit. Then that clone makes another clone. And that's exactly how Sadman Parade worked. That clone makes another clone. This clone makes a clone. Clone. So on and so forth.
So she just needs that one.
She doesn't need. She only needs that little vial. She doesn't need much at all. Like, she don't need.
Every clone can make 2 clones, right?
Yeah.
They can make 2 clones of themselves. Can they make a clone of somebody else? Like,
every clone can make 2 clones. So
I would assume that you just make 1 clone of yourself and then another of somebody else, and then you could just go on.
So if you look back to MVA, what Twice does is that the first Twice clone that gets into the tower makes a clone of Shigaraki while making a clone of Twice. The second clone makes a clone of Dobby while making a clone of Twice, which makes a clone of Compress while making a clone of Twice, which I think then maybe makes Spinner, but might not. I can't remember for sure on that one.
No, they didn't make. He didn't make Spinner. He needed the heavier.
Maybe make Spinner, maybe not. Who cares?
That's it. That's crazy how he can make clones of people without them being there. That's crazy.
And then they had him. He was like, "Yo, who the fuck is?" I was like, "Who the fuck is you?" Like, what's going on here? Like, don't worry, you're all clones. So if you die, the real you still be alive.
Like he made a clone of Dobby, like and Compressed too in Overhaul when they had to dig their way out. He just made a clone of the League when they weren't there. He did the same thing when he fought Hawks. He was about to make an entire League of villains all right there.
He just needs the measurements.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
It's pretty simple. Like a lot of times, I'm talking about human pounds, but a lot of times when it first came back out, remember that chapter, people was overblowing the complications of like what she could do. I'm like, it's simple. She got a vial. She don't need a gallon of blood. All you have to do is drink that shit, create a clone, and then Twice. Then Twice creates the army. It's just that simple. It creates multiple people. It's very plain and simple. It's about the execution. That's the crazy part. The
only limit to the quirk is that every clone that gets made is weaker than the last. That's the only limit. But other than that, like there's no other limit to it really.
And then at this point, at that point, it don't even matter depending on who you're talking about or how they use it. If Dobby is the last clone made after like 300 clones, if Wash gets put away, he don't have to like. I'm pretty sure he's durably weaker more. And then it was talking about the durability rather than the power they have. So if anything, all you have to do is all Dobby got to do is just fan the flames and keep niggas at bay for God knows how long. Just like All Might said, Dobby can keep us in our tracks. So he's just spamming that, not caring, doing whatever, and niggas gonna be like, all right, fuck, this heat getting to us, whatever, and we can't do shit. And then niggas get like you were saying, it's all about the execution. Them getting the clones is not the hard part. This is already done. It said it's already a done deal.
I still don't know how fucking regeneration would react to clones. Because
Yeah,
if Shigaraki has regeneration, like, okay, so you have to break a bone or two for like the clones to dissipate. But he has regeneration. So like, is the damage gonna stick? Like, if the damage is done, then it's done. There's no taking it back, or like, okay, the clone is regenning too. So they like, I don't know how he gonna take that.
That might actually.
I think the damage is done is done. The thing with this, with the clone is that they seem to break at even like minor injuries, not a scab, but like a broken arm. And even for a normal human, a broken arm heals. Just takes a while.
Yeah,
so I don't really think why it would make a difference just because the arm heals a lot faster.
No, but it's at the rate it heals at the same time.
If it happened like Shinso's brainwashing, like just the shock in general is what stops it. It could be like similar to that. But like if you just handle that much damage at once, then it's just automatic. It just happens.
There's a lot of complications when it comes to that too, because it's not straightforward. Because he can play it how he want to play it too, because it's not just cutthroat that it is be the same. Like that hypergener. Remember, nigga got hit by a nuke down there and just was back to his normal self in like fucking less than 5 seconds. That shit was insane.
Yeah, but his body did fall apart, and I would assume that counts.
Yeah,
so ultimately, whether you heal something in a minute or in 2 hours or in a year, half a year, will that make much of a difference for the quirk if the idea is that the injury makes you disappear?
Yes, because it makes you technically because it makes you if you weaker at that point, but it's about how fast you do heal does also play a factor into that too. You can't just you shouldn't really negate that because that also will play a factor.
I think too is that the clones can fight it. Like the Twice clone that was with Toga, that same Toga and Compressed, he was fighting it. He was like, I'm holding myself together. Oh.
So I wouldn't just negate that. And honestly, that's even bigger play because everybody else could get matched up properly and, keep at bay, dodge some killer hits. But with Shigaraki and Deku, they finna really like
what is going like
out.
And Deku and Shigaraki really finna get their first warm up mock fight next chapter. Like
that's fucking insane.
And it's gonna be because Deku doesn't. None of the heroes know that they have Twice's blood. So if these are clones, then the heroes don't know. So they're gonna be going into this with everything they have.
They're going for it to end this because the Japan is on the line. The entire world is on the line at this point for these niggas. So like they're going in for not to kill essentially, but they going in all 120%, like plus ultra.
Also, I don't know why they lied in this, but I promise you, if All For One took over some country like Luxembourg, nobody would have cared.
I don't know, but of course they would have cared. It's right between France and Germany. You think they don't mind?
It would have been like, damn, that's a small ass country that just fell.
Man, listen, I feel bad. I honestly, I wish I was one of you niggas that really thought these were the real people and not clones. Because the shock that's going to come when it's revealed that these are clones, there's
I
going
was
to
just about to say that, bro. When it's revealed that these are clones, this last page gonna look hella goofy on the hero's part. Like
they're going to think they was doing something for real.
But wouldn't
Like,
that make
really?
the army like super weak? I mean, of course, Shigaraki and AFO are still going to be difficult to kill, but the others, I mean, one sweeping attack should probably take them out.
Exactly, but that's the thing. They're going to give them a, even if you, it's like this. If you hit me, you got enough power to hit me, knock me out, right? You have to hit me though. Who says I can let you hit me or you can even hit me? We don't know what matchup is this. Like anybody can be placed in a disadvantage and still win. But the amount of time it takes you to do that and the amount of power it's going to take you to hit me and win that fight for a hero, by the time you realize I'm a clone, you've already drained your energy. And they don't got no Erie, no recovery girl, no like booster, sensu beans and pills that be like, all right, I'm back up 100%. Time for round 2. No, you fight the clone, you waste all your energy, expend it because the power level is still the same as the original. It's just the durability is different than the original person. So then you use all your energy, expend all your power, and then like by the time you realize I was fighting a dummy, the real nigga can come through a portal, or somebody else can just pull up.
Echo about to waste both his 5-gen charges.
So it's like, bro, what?
So, other question. We've been talking about twice a lot. Let's talk about how Monoma can copy. Which quirks can he copy? I mean, if they were all weak, they'd be all pretty easy for him to steal their quirks, copy their quirks.
Mhm.
Like we know he can't get one for all. We know that.
That's
But
a
could he copy the individual quirks in AFO, or could he copy Toga's quirk when she transformed? Because those are also type of stockpiling in a way.
Nah, I don't think so. Because all for one and one for all is basically the same damn quirk in a sense. So it wouldn't work because it's
He
still
would copy the
stockpiling.
bare bones all for one. He would take an all for one that has no quirks in it.
If he even
Yes.
it's still a mutated as evolved stockpile quirk.
Well, I mean, I would have agreed with you before on that, but like the fact that he could copy Warp Gate, which is a mutated quirk.
Oh,
We spoke about that. We spoke about that in DC one time too. Like, should he even be able to copy that quirk? But he can. So,
Well, you know what that tells me? Monoma can handle quirk singularity too.
Yeah, could Monoma then steal all for one and then steal all for one from all for one?
Yes. That's the thing about it. When you think about it, he can do that. He can do that, literally. Because he could copy one for all, but he couldn't copy the energy that was crystallized in one for all. You know what I mean? He can copy the concept. So if he would copy all for one, he would copy the quirk of all for one. So he could have
the bare bones version would still include the ability to steal quirks.
The steal quirks. So technically it can happen. Will he survive that? I don't think that he will survive that.
yeah,
it's all for one survive that.
Yeah, it's crazy how Warp Gate is basically Loud Cloud on crack.
What was the power of Loud Cloud, literally? Because I think it is a mix between Loud Cloud and something else.
It's Loud Cloud on crack. It's Loud Cloud with mad other quirk factors like squeezed into it.
Squeeze into it for sure. Because from what I remember, Loud Cloud was just a cloud having a cloud around you.
It was flying Nimbus.
It was a flying Nimbus. Yes, that's the thing about it. It was a flying Nimbus, but I think that he mixed it with the quirk of teleportation that we saw with the water, the black goo that can teleport you.
The one that all for one used. Oh, you think he mixed it with that quirk factor?
Yes, because he could do that. He could literally mix them, create a new quirk, and give it to give literally because for one, this guy for what we know, he can literally mix quirks in his body, and he can mix a quirk and give it to you in a
Yo,
in a
can we talk
mixu.
about how we just got that revelation low key at the start of this chapter? Like that he can mix his own quirks like on hand whenever he feels like it.
Yes, we knew that. Like literally
Nah,
from the
I
first time
knew he
that
could. I knew he could combine them for special attacks, but this time he just made it seem like he just added new things to the quirk, like over the years.
But guys, the quirk that he was talking about in the beginning, like the quirk that can help him to deceit, to see to see through deceit. You know what I mean? That people don't lie. That people don't. That people lie to him. That he even watched over there his descendants because then that man. I love how Ricochet writing this man because literally this was now, it is something that is so meta. You know what I mean? Like it is so normal to write it this way. Like he was literally he thought that the quirk of this band was interesting, so he followed his descendants. Literally, he stole the quirk of this guy, but he still followed the descendants of these guys to see that, and he stole their quirk too, if I remember well. Though I'm not sure about that. Hello?
Hold on.
Did
Yeah.
he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did he stole their quirk too, or?
Well, so it's weird because like with All For One, how do I put this? Because I think All For One's weird. I don't know how.
He's a weirdo. He's a weirdo. Bro. He's really a weirdo.
Like I don't know how to phrase it. That's a good point though. Monoma doesn't see vestiges, but that's because what? Okay, so my just quick shot in the dark. This would be my explanation for, and Avi, you're the geneticist here, but the way I look at it is that what Monoma's doing is when he copies somebody's quirk, he's like tag, and his DNA basically goes, all right, this person's DNA code within their quirk factor is this. This is the code for that. Let me log that in, and then I'll replicate that and start pumping out some of those enzymes or whatever it takes to make that happen. Whereas what All For One does is actually take the quirk, and that would explain why Monoma cannot copy stockpiles, because his DNA has just for the first time unlocked and opened up this quirk. It won't have the stockpile saved.
Mm-hmm.
We're questioning if any of them are real, but what I will say for Dobby being real is that, and I saw I thought something looked odd about his outfit, and then immediately saw somebody mention it on Twitter, and I double checked and looked it up. He is wearing a death kimono, more or less. So like Dobby's pulled up in a funeral fit.
Do you think that that Shigaraki is there or not?
I don't think so. I think it would be odd for Shigaraki to be lumped in with them. That seems almost suboptimal, especially because when you have Dobby, you have the high ends, you have Dick Tongue Nigga, and all these other people. You don't need to risk Shigaraki yet. So it's odd to me that he brought Shigaraki to the front line, but I'm guessing there has to be something to do with it, like him more or less thinking that they might have access to his location or something along those lines over it just being him being really goofy.
Listen, I already told you, the clones of me, I'm not budget.
That's not the real Shiggy.
What did you say? What did you say, East? I didn't understand you.
I'm not budging. Those are clones, and I'm not moving my stance an inch until I see them niggas drop and it be actual blood come out and they don't turn to goop a whole chapter afterwards.
Because this is what I've been talking about, like since I've seen Twice as Blood. I'm like, I know they're gonna finesse people with clones. I've been saying that.
They do it all throughout the whole series.
They've been doing that.
like It's almost like it's almost like they're trying to make it a new concept that's inconceivable.
Look, I'll give y'all this because I this is like my interpretation like right now.
What are the quirks of
The LOV,
parents?
Shiggy, Dabi, and Toga, those are clones. If you want to say everybody else there is real, fine. Because I don't think, they'd be able to copy Greninja. So that might be the real Greninja at most. I'll give you that. But the big three that's there, Shiggy, Dabi, and Toga, those are clones. The Nomu might be real. All four might be real. Everybody else could be real. But those three are not real.
The most important people for the future that determine the future of the series are not real.
Especially Toga, because Ochako's not here. Like that's like my biggest thing right now.
And then Dabi is, and then Shoto isn't here either for motherfucking Endeavor. I mean, yeah, Shoto isn't here for Dabi, so like.
So Toga literally, like, unless you want to think that their final confrontation is a conversation in prison, Toga is not going down here. So,
but I will also say that good props to Horikoshi for naming it the extreme quiet before the storm, and then doing this.
When he said this, because the scans were just like quiet before the storm. When the officials dropped extreme quiet, I was like, Don. I pulled a Discord message. I was like, nah, nigga. I pulled a message to Charlie, nah, nigga. He ain't even finna like this. Really finna make the PLF war pale in comparison. And this nigga started off. I was like, all right, it's already pale in comparison. That's crazy.
Where the fuck is Mirio?
What y'all asking for this nigga? Y'all don't ask for bro. Don't have to say me ask for niggas like y'all be asking for Mirio for real.
Nah, I'm not gonna. Mirio got hyped up. Mirio is supposed to be the next number one. Where is he at? Like,
where is he at?
He's in the panel where All For One is thinking about other heroes.
Listen, when he running back and he start fucking folding niggas, I'm coming for everybody. I'm like, all right, listen, y'all can stop asking for this nigga because here he is. All he gonna do is run hands.
I want to see that. I want to see that.
We want that. We like that, man. We love niggas running hands.
Yeah, and then the fight just started. Y'all been asking
I
for
need more of that power.
Bro, since 297, 298, niggas been asking for Mirio. Like, damn. All he gonna do is fight. And it's the first fight we got with everybody since the war.
Literally, we get an unnamed nigga literally there next to our Endeavor, just above him. Who is that nigga? I don't know him.
That's one of the Endeavor's sidekicks. That's one of the side. I don't know his name though. That's one of the sidekicks. I'm surprised that nigga is here and not burning. I thought that was Endeavor's main sidekick.
Yeah, I thought she was his
Not everybody is in this panel.
Have we mentioned anything about Mirka's arm here?
Bro, no, we didn't. And she got the blicky.
Look at that thing. That's like a freaking gauntlet.
Bro, she got the blicky, bro.
Is she gonna shoot some people? I think so.
That's how I know Aizawa's prosthetic is wild too.
That ain't gonna shoot a foot can out that bitch.
What I can say is, if Aizawa is not here, if they are not here, they are somewhere else. They're on some other place. So they counted maybe that there is two teams. From what I'm thinking,
it's probably like 16. Is with you. One A has to be split up into two teams.
Yeah, they got to be.
I hope Aizawa is just hiding because, frankly, he's not the most useful in the lineup.
Well, they have one of the things that you consider is instead of worrying about splitting up Shigaraki, what if they split up AFO? Like instead of moving them away, they move AFO away to the other teams. Because if he has no control, as soon as he gets yeeted there and they just start letting go, I don't know.
Well, this is their hands up in the air. Since we're talking about it like this, Horikoshi started playing Super Smash Bros. Again.
Literally,
it's over with.
Deku looks good on that page. Deku looks really cool on that page, and confident. I like that.
You don't have to carry this fight.
I don't think. See, y'all not comprehending that Horikoshi has been playing Super Smash Bros. Again. Do you know what Super Smash Bros. Is? One of the greatest battle royales ever, platform battle royales ever. Come on.
I mean,
now.
if you feel that way about it.
But I mean, like, come on now. It's up there, top tier, top 5. And especially got team battles. I see you scratching your head over there, boss. That's how you want to say it?
Man, talk to the Deku because the face don't want to hear it.
I know you didn't pull no full cow.
We seeing that next week?
God.
Hey, man, listen.
What if next week Deku just opened up and he got the full 100% hair and like he just like ready to fight Shigaraki?
Please, I need
His full cow.
It's been
Nah.
too long.
Okay.
No.
At minimum, though, his full cowling should be at minimum. We should be at 50 to 55%.
Minimum.
Yeah.
And
Minimum
I'm
for sure.
disappointed because if Deku was really smart, he would have been like walked up and been doing this, just flexing his hands, building up that,
Yes.
building up that 5 gen, and then
He
just
gotta
been
have
like,
that.
That's
He
what I was
gotta have
thinking about.
five, Eddie.
Literally.
would have been like Air Force. Bow!
All right, when we open up next chapter with the second quirk reveal.
Yeah, that shit coming soon. I can't wait.
Nah. Literally. Because, Ale, my Shigaraki, man. What's happening to my nigga Shigaraki? Please. Please,
Bro, Shigaraki not here. That's a clone. Don't worry about him.
Bro, there's no way that's Shigaraki.
I'm
'cause
worried
Shigaraki-
about him.
You need to be worried about what's on screen right now.
I'm worried about Ayama, to be honest.
Exactly.
That's the only-
You need to be worried about what's in
Yeah.
your face right now.
Oyama is so out of place in this lineup.
That's the only person I'm worried about.
The thing that kills me the most about Aoyama's situation too, though, is that this man don't even got his actual hero fit on under it.
That's what I said.
No,
Yeah.
but you know what? That's
So
okay.
he don't even-
This hero fit is got gas, boy.
No, this is. I don't know if I like a sparkling suit more or not. The sparkling suit,
Yeah.
I had a place in my heart. The sparkling suit, but this is just objectively
That's
cooler.
This shit
Nah,
raw.
nah.
I
All
don't
black
care. This
fit,
shit
go,
raw.
yo, his trader fit go crazy.
Yeah, I was looking at him in the prison last like the other chat. I was like, man, this shit raw, bro. He looked kind of raw in his prison fit. And then I seen it later. I'm like, I see that this chapter. I'm like, oh no, this fit hit. Well, I don't care.
I can't wait.
I mean,
for
apart from the hole in the belly, which is kind of weird.
I can't wait for when we play
Guys.
games a few years from now, and then we get the Aoyama trader variation with this all black fit.
Mhm.
Man, I don't
Guys.
know because they ain't gonna never make the fucking My Hero game apparently.
Guys, literally, when I'm thinking about it, Aoyama has a really good character design has a
Sound
good
muffled,
villain
Bonzo.
character design. His hairstyle, we can see it in the when he was making his speech. Literally, you could really believe that he was a villain if we didn't if you to show that to somebody like the way that Horikoshi really drew him really well. Like
I
really
agree.
like-
On page 6, when Deku's like, "What are you talking about, Aoyama?" The way he looked there, like with the panel covering his eye, he looked evil a little bit.
Yeah, literally, he had the villain aura. Like if you took the sweat of it, but literally you can see that Horikoshi can make any character in his story. Like if he decides to take another one with them, he can draw it and make you believe that. You know what I mean?
Bro, he turned
because
he turned Aoyama into a 10 out of 10 character in like 10 chapters.
So I told y'all, bro, don't sleep.
Oyama always was a 10 out of 10.
When he want to do what he want to do with niggas, then he'll do it. Until then, they sit and they wait.
Aoyama has been
Yeah.
treated with nothing but respect ever since the trader reveal. Like
Yeah.
his
yeah,
Traitor-
for sure.
It's so funny, but good traitor reveals make the character way cooler. It's just kind of weird because being a traitor isn't nice, but
It's like, damn, bro, you deceived all these people around you. Yo,
Yeah.
ew. Like-
Oh man, but just thinking about it, how they did it. Oh man, literally, because we all are okay to say that this is fake. This is like the biggest, fakest. This is the fakest way to end the story. But wait, man, I can't. That's what I'm thinking about.
Oh,
How?
wait. I gotta
What would
go
happen?
way off topic.
What?
I have to. They just hit me. Sayas.
Okay.
I'm about to evoke because some of y'all don't know this, but secretly Sayas just likes ginger men. And you may be aware of this with Endeavor. But also, did you know that her favorite member of the worst generation in One Piece is Captain Eustace Kid?
I knew you were gonna say that as soon as you said it.
No!
Oh no.
No, I didn't read the chapter.
Oh, no.
I'm gonna read it right now. Damn.
Which-
But okay,
You
I
should
also
read
like
the chapter,
Renji.
yes.
I'll just say it. I have a thing for redheads and
Oh.
whiteheads, I guess.
So how have you
Hey.
been feeling about Eustace Kid lately, Sayas?
Redheads are the girls. The redheads are what they look good. Literally. Okay.
Sayas is gonna be like, I'm not current on Wano, my bad.
No, I have nothing against it. The thing is, it's I mean, Wano has never been my favorite arc. I'm actually all right with it now, but it took a while. It took a while for Kid to go into to hit into a second gear.
Useless captain mid.
I haven't read the newest chapter, so if there's anything new in that.
Oh yeah, you should probably.
It's
Pookie talking about Ayama still gonna sit mid-20s in the popularity. When he is in the top 10 of the final popularity poll, Yuga Ayama.
If Aoyama hits top 10, but Dabi can't, I'm sick.
Watch out, bro.
I mean, there have been worse characters hitting the top 10.
Okay.
That nigga, we ain't gonna talk about that. How that nigga did.
Shindo.
Yo, Poison Tree facts. Ayama taking Shoto places the pretty boy. Watch out, bro.
oh shit.
Because Ayama is a student. You know Japan loves the students more. So when he get that reveal and all those panels of him crying, get animated, he's definitely gonna rise in popularity. Like
I'm now gonna read the kids chapter apparently.
Japan love the kids. That's how Ida and Kirishima been in the top 5 for like 3 years.
Ida, which is crazy because Ida fell away for a bit and then came back into the scene.
His fans were 10 toes down.
Man, that joint training when they put more respect on Ida than Shoto, that was. But I guess it's because Shoto was getting his ass beat, so they was like, we're not for the
Yeah, they put so much respect on Ida that Horikoshi spoiled his new design in the sketch. Nigga sketched that ass and then he put it in the manga.
That shit was funny as hell.
Damn.
All right.
What if Aoyama hit All For One's mask and he ended the series right there?
That would have been a fitting end. No, that would have been hilarious. And then it's just 3 chapters of people watching All For One slowly asphyxiate. They just move. They take different turns, poking them with a stick.
Bro, he dodged it, bro. That shit would have hurt him if it touched him. That laser ain't no joke. Remember that laser made Danger Sense go off.
Yeah, that laser, it's a laser. Shit. I don't need to say nothing else. It's a fucking laser.
I mean, the laser, Danger Sense can kind of tell when you're ready to pop off. AKA, most people have to ask if you're feeling froggy. Danger Sense just goes ahead and lets them know ahead of time.
This nigga really about that smoke. Which I also can say for all the niggas here.
What the hell happened? What the hell happened? Right now this gonna bring some noises.
Bro, they teleported everybody to the same place.
And they said, who wanna smoke with me? Who wanna smoke with me? These niggas finna be head busting, fist throwing. Man. Oh my God.
Deaths.
Y'all keep thinking this whole Horikoshi don't kill this and the other. Yeah, bro. You see, this ain't just a regular thing. Like
yo,
this is
yo,
all
yo,
in.
Yo, East, we gotta bring up what we brought up on VC Friday. Like, if everybody who we wanted to die died in the war, how many niggas would be on this last page?
Exactly. Now I'm about to
If
pull.
that-
In fact, you need to pull the page up itself because yeah, that's dead ass. Because like, if y'all all these people y'all wanted to died, we would have had no fucking heroes. We had no heroes anyway.
Because y'all can say whatever y'all want about the war, but this time, there's no doubt in my mind. People are dying this time. Like, there's no doubt in my mind.
I mean, like I said, why this is trumping the war in actual battles, nigga. People had to slide through the war. They were escaping. They weren't there strictly to just like, they weren't there. They weren't there like trying to fight. They got caught off guard and they was trying to escape out the paint.
Also, if I'm honest, the one thing missing from AFO taking off his jacket is him wearing some rings. My man having the fact that he isn't wearing some rings right now to like completely sell the mob boss type aesthetic, taking off the jacket to fight, tragic.
Oh God. So listen, if everybody I wanted to die in the war died, we wouldn't have Oracle on this page. We wouldn't have Miracle. I don't know why y'all thought Wash was dead. I told you he was straight. He would have been dead.
I wish Wash would have died.
That's what I said.
We need him here. I mean, Orca and Wash are different levels because Orca.
Horikoshi baited the shit out of us with Orca.
Yeah, because he had that nigga hand up. I like, all right.
I don't even know why he did that, bro.
I think it was just he should have did Majestic hand instead of Orca hand because I understand what he was aiming for. He was like, wait, because because how it was played off, it was like, okay, don't worry. Like, the kids was like, all right, listen, we'll take over, and they headed towards Makia. The next thing we know, on the news, they're like, all right, it's a giant fucking kaiju headed through the cities, and they're like, what happened to all the heroes we had over there? And you see that nigga Orca hand in the air. Next chapter they explain them niggas basically died.
Yo, Extra would have been dead too in my book. I mean, that show would have slapped him up.
Yeah, because everybody wanted that. So Pussycats would have been dead.
Fat Gum would have been dead too.
Yeah, Fat Gum and Sun Eater.
Y'all swore Sun Eater was dead.
Yeah, I was ready for him to get packed up. I would have loved it.
And Never for some would have been dead. For me, he would have been dead. But
so basically, we would have had how many people on this page? We would have had like 3 people on this page.
So the way some people was acting for the trader reveal, I think some people wanted Aoyama dead.
Yeah, they definitely wanted.
So people had a weirdly violent reaction to that. It was like, what? A sympathetic traitor? Garbage. I hate this nigga. Ugh. I can't believe he's extorted. And I'm like, bro, like y'all been saying Awful One hasn't done enough for you. Then you're like, damn, I really hate this heinous act of villainy. But you're like, no, I hate how it affected the plot. I don't like the fact that he was blackmailed. I wanted him to be a super evil traitor. The same people who are mad that Awful One is evil for the sake of being evil.
So off rip, if everything went how we wanted, this last page would not be the same at all.
It would have been more 1A niggas, and then that wouldn't even has been nearly as gas as this.
Oh yeah, Nedre would have been dead too, by the way, because when Dobby shot her, some of y'all would have killed her right there.
Yeah, y'all would have definitely killed her. So basically, 95% of the lineup that's on the final page, they wouldn't even made it to the bitch. Because y'all went up dead. Like I said, bro, he killed who he need to kill when he want to kill. That's why when niggas be like, oh, I hope he has the balls to kill off a student, or he don't have the balls. Like, nigga, it ain't about having balls. It's about if he wants to do it or not. Y'all trying to force this nigga hand and do something he wasn't thinking about doing until later. Like,
guys.
Yeah.
Yo.
It's already 8. I have to go back to my place right now. I am at home.
That's okay. I was about to start wrapping up anyway because we're 2 hours deep and we don't normally go this long anymore.
Yeah. So yeah.
Here, let's do some around the horn. Yeah. Mbanzu, final thoughts, and then from there we'll just go around the horn.
Oh, okay. A chapter. It is. I'm just saying, guys. It is a trap. It is a trap. My bad. A trap. So, yeah. Because let's take if it is really the end of the story. I don't think it will be a good ending. It's really weird, but still, It's just so what I want to believe in, as I think I'm right, is that that East said that what he said about the clones, that there are clones. Maybe not all for one. I'm not sure, but why not? Because I really want to have uh Shigaraki leading the other group. That would be the best from in my eyes, you know. So yeah, it is literally an 10 on 10. Just how everything was set up. The intro of this chapter was so good. It gives me even inspiration for my own story. So yeah, I will thank everybody, and I hope to see you all soon next week. Like the video, please don't forget that, and see you. Bye.
Welcome, Monzu.
Bishop Tarnish.
Yo, this chapter just for Ayama alone and the drip he had is fire. But hands really being thrown next week. Oh, like no setup anymore, no characters talking. Niggas is gonna be fighting next week. Like, and then when we get the clone finesse, which I know is coming at some point, the heroes is not ready for that. So that's gonna be a wild ass page turn. Like, I'm just happy we at this point. However long this goes, this ain't the final battle. This fight right here is not the final battle. This is just the signal flare. Like, so we gonna see, but Aoyama gonna die. That's all I got.
All right. Walk-ins.
Chapter was gas as always. Also just seeing that Japan is just more in ruin, just saying the villains lost in that other war. Whatever. We already talked about that earlier. It just makes me laugh at this point. It's just like the clues are there. It not even clues. The yeah, everything's there. You just need to read. And like at this point, it's being spoon fed to you, but whatever. I like the ideas of everybody except for All for One and probably Toga being clones. You know, I kind of like that. Even Toga is debatable if she's a clone or not. Only reason I say she might not be is since she's like the one that created the new twice or whatever, but we'll find out later on. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited that everything is starting, like this next war starting. Curious how they're going to do this separation tactic and how they're going to go about defeating All for One and Shigaraki. And yeah, I'm excited for it.
All right. Let's see. We did Tarnish, Walk-ins, Bishop Say Yes.
I like this chapter. Specifically, I really liked Aoyama. I think he pulled that off beautifully. I didn't really know how they would use him, but I guess luring AFO out is to be expected. I thought they would somehow use him to separate the group, which they didn't do. They apparently just used him to get them all out of hiding. Which, if these people are the real ones, worked well. If it's twice, it didn't work at all. But I really, for the next chapter, I'm looking forward. I don't really care about twice in the next chapter. I just want some Monoma shine, because that little panel this chapter was great. And him being the one to get Kurogiri's quirk, I love it. But I need more, and I want him to separate everybody. I want him to be super important, because I've been waiting for Monoma to do something for a long time. So now I'm just hyped for that. Yeah.
All right. I got everybody but East, right? I'm not tripping.
Yeah, and we got a super chat from Gianna too.
Oh, let me hit that up. Giorno Giovanno, chapter guest. Aoyama and Monoma, in views of this chapter, we letting Hori cook. Yes, it's amazing Nope, not gonna go on a rant. East, take us home. Wait, is East still here?
And oh man. Oh man.
Not again, not again. Oh my God. Man. When I say we are here, we are motherfucking here. Oh, words cannot explain the excitement and the joy that fill my body as I cower and shake in excitement and rage and finally get feeling that the time I have waited for is here. All bets are off on the table. This war is a true blue war. This is the make or break. This is the breadwinner. This puts us back on the map. This is the shining ultimate culmination of everything we've been waiting for this entire series that comes together and sheds the light on why I consider Horikoshi to be my number one GOAT of all time. Oh, the hands about to fly. There's no more talking. Nigga, we letting the fist do the walking. My mouth they running. But you niggas finna keep on gunning for the GOAT. Oh man, I don't know who's swinging on who, but it don't even matter to me or you because every week we finna be in this bitch talking about nigga. Oh my mama, it's lit. Listen, I could go here all day, but it's time to get out. If you know, then you know. I'm finna say it one last time. Get your reins together because chaos is finna ensue, nigga. And I'm talking to all of you. Once again, if you didn't know who always win in the end, it is undefeated of the motherfucking and what it do, baby? And we coming at you. I love it. I love you. Appreciate you.
Hey, appreciate everybody that came through. Sayas, Ponzu, Walk-ins, Tarnish, and East. You guys always come through. Appreciate you for real. Looking forward to the next bit of this story. Appreciate everybody who came through in the chat, watching the videos of Vitorino, Thomas, Enda, Alves, Chill, J. Michael Holmes, Tanisha. Let's see who else we got here. Jarno came through. All right, I'm not gonna name off every single person who sent a message. Y'all get the idea. I appreciate every single one of you. I'm always glad to have y'all here. Let me know what you guys are thinking about the story. I'm gonna try to get this review out to you guys by the end of the day. You should be able to enjoy that too. And I may even be doing a special rant on Deku being quirkless later this week. So y'all have a wonderful day.